Yo. It's Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, gotta fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to us talk raps. You're listening to us talk raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
I can officially... There it is. I was just about to bring that up. Like, right before the show starts every week, Reg starts going... And, like, I can't unhear the song without hearing Reg do it, so I'm glad he actually brought it to the show itself this time.
Yeah.
Welcome to another edition of Grapsody. I am Will Washington. I'm not alone here. I'm also joined by Mr. Philip Lindsey.
Boy, let me tell you, I have been up since I think about 6 in the morning. Couldn't really sleep.
Police at your door.
Yes.
Nah, don't put that energy on me. Put that energy on me, bro.
Word.
I couldn't sleep really well. Usually when I can't sleep, I'm in like deep thought about something, and I'm a chronic overthinker. And I think that I'm just at this age where I'm just like, what are you leaving behind? And just be careful what it is that you're doing, what it is you're saying, what legacy you're leaving in this world. And I don't know. I told you guys in the group chat, but I tweeted also that my uncle just passed away. My dad's older brother, my grandmother's firstborn, and man, just when I just think like he was a preacher. Most of my dad's brothers are preachers. That is something people might not know about me. And I just think of what he left on the world and the fact that he dedicated his life, I think, to making people's lives better. And I think that is something that, you know, we all should look at in some ways. And then I just saw Black Panther with my dad the day before.
I was going to say, I'm sure that Wakanda Forever hit crazy.
Yeah, just realizing that what Chadwick decided to do, knowing that he was sick and being brave enough to decide, I want to make it my life's work in death to make all of these black icons a reality for us.
Straight up.
That's big. That's big. And I mean, again, when you look at Kevin Conroy as well, rest in peace to that guy as well, and what he did for Batman and how much joy he brought in the world. And it just, like I said, I think that's been resonating with me a lot, that, you know, what you leave behind means a lot. And those are 3 people that, like I said, are fresh in my mind at the moment, and they left behind a lot, and they had a big impact on people in this world.
That's what's up. Yeah.
That is a heavy way to start the show. Thank you, Phil. Lindsey, also here.
Thank you for sharing, Phil.
Yeah, thank you. Righteous Reg is also here.
I am in the building. That's funny that I said that. Somebody brought up, like, why do you say in the building? What building are you in? I'm in this building. I'm in all the buildings. It's your boy, Media Man, Righteous Reg.
Everywhere, nowhere.
Your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster. It's Grapsody. It's Saturday morning. I'm feeling hella good. I'm just like, it's just a good time outside. Yeah, that's it, man. Moving forward, I'm excited about the show. Excited about our little friend that's gonna pop up here too, because he's a real good dude.
Yeah. So what I was about to say here is that here on Grapsody,
I derailed it with all of my my deep talk. My bad.
No, that's okay.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. But every once in a while, now granted, while Grapsody is normally a trio, every once in a while we have a little treat, which is where we get to bring one of the homies here onto the show to sit with us for the entirety of the show. And who better to bring on here right now? Who better than Public Enemy's own Graham is in the building.
What's up? What's going on? How y'all doing? What's up with the guys?
We kicking it, man. We feeling good. It's Saturday morning. Public Enemies podcast, that Twitter page. Like, you can't mention Public Enemies without mentioning that Twitter page because that shit is always on some. Every time I open my phone, something's going crazy. Y'all getting something off. We appreciate you being here, man. Like, how you doing this morning?
Listen, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing great. I appreciate the invite, Phil. Condolences to you. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't aware, you feel me? But definitely want to send T's and P's and love and light to you, of course, you know what I'm saying? But
Appreciate you.
I'm doing well, man. It's been a long week. Just continuing just to keep the ball rolling, and yes, keeping the Twitter page active and keeping the jokes flying. That's 100% at the top of the priority list. 100%. Yeah, but
hey, you guys had Braun Strowman.
Had Braun Strowman in his feelings too, like,
all the way in his feelings.
In his feelings over an old tweet too. Like, bro, what you doing?
It was like over a week old. I'm like, bro, like, what are you? And we didn't even post the video. It was a retweet. Like, do you know how these things work, brother? I don't know if you know how these things work, brother. But
You know, have you seen how he types? Have you seen how he types those tweets? He don't get handed out.
Yeah, exactly.
I am big, strong monster, and you flippy flopper.
Crazy out here.
Crazy, man.
Hey, I want to let everybody know that if you're wherever you're watching, we want to hear from you. So leave us your thumbs up. First off, those always help out. Just right now, if you're watching right now, just hit that thumbs up button. Helps out what we do. Also, what helps out what we do and gets you your little bit of your voice heard here on the show is your super chats. If you donate a super chat, again, they help support what we do here at Fightful and help support what Grapsody does, and they help pay your boys. So
I thought Graham was drinking a Mickey's for a minute. I was like, bro, you starting out the morning with a Mickey? It's crazy out here.
I usually do like a Mickey's or like a 211 or like a
not the breakfast 211.
Nah. Usually when we do our show, like after Dynamite on Wednesdays, you know what I mean? Like for sure. Like that's
think that visual just flashed in my brain. I'm like, damn, he got to make this
early.
early.
This is a Red Bull, my guy. I'm keeping it conservative. You feel me?
Send us your super chats though. YouTube.com/Fightful. We've got super chats coming in all throughout. I want to read a couple because people are happy to see Graham here. We have, let's see, Van Twinblade, of course. He says, no Glory Pro news today. Watch the last one on Fight Plus for Bussy versus Right to Censor because MO has homophobic laws.
Yeesh. Yeah, real quick on Fight TV Plus, it probably has entered to becoming the best independent wrestling streaming there is because they got GCW, they got Glory Pro, they got Black Label Pro. They got, if you want to see some hot independent wrestling, $4.99 Fight TV Plus, super hot.
Yeah, that's an amazing deal.
Yeah,
great deal. I mean, that's essentially what you would pay for the NWA subscription. Which you could go and enjoy other wrestling and not have to pay attention to NWA's nonsense this week, which has been all over the place.
Hey, wildin'.
Yeah. Let's see. We also got Jake says, prayers for you and your family, Phil. Thank you, Jake. Jake also says, so how do we feel about Mountain Mega Viking Raiders and Sarah Dojal?
Getting right to it, bro. Wait a minute. Well, first of all, I think the fact that people are trying to make this a blackface thing is very strange.
Yeah,
it's very obvious it's not blackface. I don't know why people are doing that. Like, it's okay to say that you think that she's MAGA and you don't agree with her beliefs without trying to throw something fake on it. Like, that's not blackface. Like, don't do that because it belittles what blackface actually is.
Exactly.
A lot of things belittle what blackface actually is, and it kind of like gets to me because I once had a Twitter thread. I might retweet it one day, just as a what is blackface and what is not.
Right.
And because I know there are people who are like, well, she's wearing dark makeup. That's blackface. I'm like, no man. Like,
no.
They're okay. Either way, Orion Ben excited to see Graham says Grapsody.
Jump right
Public
over
Enemies pot.
Wait, someone's gonna be. Hey, oh. we're not starting with that, but I'm sure there is somebody that's gonna be somewhere that's mad. But hey man, just tells you you're doing something right in the world when somebody's mad.
Straight up.
Yeah.
But
I love everybody.
but the thing that I think is dope, that if you guys don't pay attention to what the homie Graham is doing, he's also got a rap podcast as well. Plug that joint, man.
Oh yeah, the Sheep Show. Yeah, I also produce All Elite with Keeks and Friends. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all looking for an AEW podcast presented from a woman's perspective, tap in with Keeks.
Get your boy on the Sheep Show too, man. What's going on here?
What's happening? Let's get it, man. Let's get it. We doing a rebrand. I'm finna flip the script on that, but definitely, man, got to.
It's constant rebrands out here.
It's mad though.
Look, I gotta say though, I have been so happy for Keeks and everything she's doing, because I had her on Day After Dynamite 1 week, and I'm not trying to take credit for anything, but I am saying that I had her on Day After Dynamite, and then it was like within 2 weeks, and I guess that rhymes, All Elite Keeks is rolling, and I feel like I don't know. I was just happy to see her kind of in the element initially when she came on Day After Dynamite, and after that, just seeing how everything started rolling. It's been happy to watch her do her thing. If you haven't checked out All Elite Keeks,
shout out to Keeks, man.
We got to get Keeks on Grapsody too.
Try to get her out of the paint on Twitter.
Yeah, man.
Follow All Elite Keeks, man. Get
Twitter be like that. Come on.
Hey man, but Elon took over. We got her back. You know what I mean?
Yo, come on, man.
He did a couple good things out here. Huh?
Helping my brand out. I'm with it.
Yo, my bad, King of the North. I did not say that because I forgot. We are in Rarefied Air because we do have the co-founder of the Festies in the building.
Yes. Yes.
First time that the co-founder of the Festies has been on our podcast, man.
Wow.
Yes, big action.
Festies are coming to a summer near you soon. No tentative plans yet, but
we working on it. We working on it. You know, me and Phil and my AEW music label mates over here. You know what I mean? We gonna get it rocking, man.
You feel.
Let records know I'm still waiting on my chain too. By the way,
it's in my chain, bro.
Oh, that reminds me, Reg. You said you listened to Drake 21. What did you think?
21.
Okay.
Can you do something for me?
I like it. I like what it represents. I like
what it represents.
I like what it represents.
You know where this is going.
I like what it represents.
Listen, it's Drake, the #1 rapper in the world, hands down. It's him. That's him. And he did what he always does. I like the rapping. I think it's good, but it's just not for me. Every time I finish a Drake project, I'm like, I understand, but it's just I'm not gonna play this again, and that's how it happened.
So I'm gonna repeat what I tweeted the other day. The thing that Drake gives us every time he drops an album is he is amazing at giving us passive aggressive, spicy bars to repeat about other haters that we know. And there are so many times that there were bars in there. That's why his bars always end up as captions, because it's like, man, he be getting to it when it comes to the passive aggressiveness. There's a whole generation of people that tweet or jump on Instagram that tweet subs at each other that are based off the way this man moves in real life. Right. So it's the best thing he's given us. And so there are certain lines on there I'm like, this is definitely a Drake album. You got 21 doing his version of a Drake record as well, which is kind of hit or miss for me, but I think it's a good album. I think it's the best album he's dropped in a long time.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good album. I like a lot of tracks on it, and
Graham is shaking his head. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I like it just for the simple fact that it's pissing a lot of people off.
Oh, it's pissing people off.
I wasn't expecting that. I was like, okay, I'm thinking Drake and 21 are just gonna drop a record and people are just gonna keep going, you know, and do what they do. But they was like, no, he's dissing Meg. The Me Too is jumping in. They got Vogue lawsuits. Drum is pacing back and forth in his living room. I'm like, this might be a classic, bro.
It's crazy.
I mean, what's attached to it? It's going crazy. I'm like, when I saw the Vogue thing, I was like, yo, Vogue tripping? Howard Stern was talking about. I'm like, yo,
Howard needs to go relax.
Yeah, it's going crazy out here.
I haven't listened to the Nas record from yesterday today. The Nas album is absolutely better.
Oh my god, yeah.
Him and Hit Boy are going on all-time great run. 4 albums in a row, not a single miss.
I can't even like if you just judge Nas off Hit Boy records, he got a catalog off just Hit Boy records. If you don't include all his albums, you just like, let me just grade these 4, and you're like, that's a banger after banger. I can't believe it. It drives me crazy that a 50-year-old man is out there doing this like this still. He started when he's like 16 and he's 50 and he's still at the top of the fucking list.
And he sounds like Nas again to me. I feel
does.
like this is the most he sound like Nas from that era than he has in a long time.
Right.
And I feel like it's just a matter of him finally getting that collaborative partner to bring out a creativity in him that we hadn't seen.
Right.
And so, man, when he's been saying that, you know, he's a Quincy to my Mike, I'm like, he is though. Like, I feel like that's a bold claim, but he is. And man, that, by the way, that record on the album,
he went crazy.
Quincy, that's.
He said, "Going crazy, CeeLo Green, Nas Barkley. Before I even pulled in the park, they tried to. What he said? Before I even pulled in the spot, they tried to park me. I said, why is he doing this?
It's crazy.
Why is he doing
this? Is nuts.
Flipping the flows and staying in pocket. Like I'm like, yo, this dude is going crazy. And
it's even crazier because like he found Hit Boy and they became a great duo. But he's been in great with things with like DJ Premier. There's like all these other great producers he could have done this with, and it's surprising that Hit Boy was the one to bring this out of him.
Like all great things in this world, Spite somehow finds a way to drive people to do great things. And I thought the Kanye album was going to be so much better. I saw somebody tweet earlier that they thought that Kanye was going to do for Nas what Hit Boy is doing for Nas right now. And that is 100% true. And man, when you listen to the shots that Hit Boy keeps trying to take it at Kanye, and Nas is kind of like, I don't want nothing to do with that. But Hit Boy is like, I want all the smoke because this dude obstructed other work that I was doing. He was hating. And so I'm like, nothing is better than proving people wrong and being able to be spiteful, man. It isn't something you should live on, but in those moments, it feels pretty good. I'm sorry.
Wait, Philip Lindsey, that is what drives Philip Lindsey.
Right.
It feels pretty goddamn good. They're the thing that we did in our first year of our podcast that I feel like is the crowning achievement of our podcast now. I can't say it on air, but there's a reason why I think it's the crowning achievement of our podcast. And I feel like we've won forever. And just, certain people should have never let me know that bothered them, because now I'm just like,
checkmate.
Hey, checkmate, bro.
That was an easy one too. That's my favorite part about it. Is that was an easy one. Like that wasn't like we didn't work hard for that one. I was like,
it is what it is. But look, the Nas album is great. Man,
I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but I got I am set to work out.
You gotta check that out.
I know it's my workout.
Fam,
listen today.
That 5 Heartbeat sample is not just genius, but that beat is great.
Are there any features on the album?
No. 17 records, no features, bro.
No, take that, J. Cole.
Oh my God. 17 bangers, all heat. Nas is rapping, not a bar miss.
Rapping, bro.
Yeah, that Once a Man, Twice a Child kind of reminds me of some of like the Stillmatic production, like that. Oh my God, he's going crazy on that album. I was like, this is too much.
I'm blown away. Amazing.
We got another. On the Humper Chap side, we got. Let's see. This one's from Jason. It says, "Reg, opinion on what Road Idiot said about Bret Hart." And
Brian.
Yes. And for all three, do you really think Hunter has a plan for all these returns, or is it just talent hoarding? Let me make sure I got every single piece of that. He says, also, if you were Nick Aldis, would you rather go to WWE or AEW? So let's answer all three in order. We'll start with Road Dogg on Bret Hart.
Brian is executing his plan correctly, because every time he talks, we all tweet about it. We all talk about his dumb ass. We're all trying to dunk on him. It works every time.
You're not getting me, Brian.
I get caught up every time because I'm like, I can't believe, why are you saying this? And then I think about, I'm like, oh, this is why you're saying this, because we're all attacking him. But Big Cap, we all know, like, nobody has there's nowhere to go. You're not anything better than Bret Hart at all, and you stole your whole aesthetic from the niggas. So stop what you're doing.
1,000%.
I'm about to ruin, bro. Who was doing your hair in 1998? That's the question we need answered right now. How did you?
That
get
is absolutely the
like
question.
That's the question people need to be asking on these
Absolutely
podcasts, not about Bret Hart. Whose legs were you sitting between in 1998?
Yo,
whoa. You know what's funny about that? As soon as you said that, like whose legs was he sitting in between? Like who's doing his hair? Like the first thought that I had was R. Kelly in like the I Wish video, sitting on the porch, like getting his hair braided.
Or Snoop in the Snoop. I think of the what's my name video.
Let's go with that one. Let's go. With that
we're
one.
talking about Mario. Won't you braid my hair?
I'm saying
That song was not about braiding hair.
It is absolutely not about braiding my hair at all. It is not. I won't comment on the Brian thing. I'm ready to move on to the next thing.
Yes.
My takeaway from the Brian stuff is, if you always have to talk about somebody else to keep yourself relevant, then you ain't relevant, bro.
Easy.
That's the answer to that. That's the answer to that question.
Mm-hmm. Very easy.
Ooh, but it's the truth.
But he gonna keep talking, and we're gonna keep dunking because we can't help but duck. Trash. So what's the rest of it was Hunter and the everybody gonna comment on Brian?
I'll even break down what he said though, right? Because he was like,
don't.
No, because he said he was.
Why are we doing this?
Just a little bit.
There's no validity to anything he said.
I know. But like the idea of because I hate that people come at Bret like that, where they're like, well, Bret was he did his thing in the ring, but he wasn't like a sports entertainer. Like, I feel like there's a lot of revisionist history around Bret, as if Bret wasn't coming out giving glasses to cheering kids in the front row who loved Bret Hart. Bret was this idea that Bret was simply just like, he's an in-ring guy, but he wasn't he wasn't a star. Like, that's not true. It's not true at all. Like, it's true in the sense that while Bret was on top, but also Shawn Michaels, who people do consider one of the best sports entertainers ever, while those two were on top, yes, WCW was kicking their ass. But WWF was still afloat. And so, like, as far as WWF was concerned, Bret was a star. Like, it's complete revisionist history to say it any other way. And that's all. But the thing is, people run with that. People say that all the time. Mm-hmm. The idea that Road Dogg was even in his league, even as a sports entertainer, not even fucking close.
No. At all. Look, my thing is, if Sean said that, Sean can say that. That's just like if we're talking about any of the beef with Nas and Hove. Hove can say that. Memphis Bleak can't say that, bro. Brian, you can't say that. Get the fuck out of here.
Memphis Bleak can't say that. That's where
Brian's 5 minutes of like sports entertainment fame were being attached to Hunter while Hunter was feuding with top dogs. Like, yeah, Brian got to be in there with The Rock because Hunter was feuding with The Rock. Brian got to be in there with Austin because Hunter was feuding with Austin. Like, it was never, nobody was like, hey, you know what match I want to see right now? The Rock versus the Road Dogg. No. That wasn't a match people.
We only talk about you because of the people you were linked to. Let's be all the way 100% honest. You were next to Trips.
Yes.
You were next to Billy Gunn.
Exactly.
You were next to K Quick, who was always better than you two. Let's really get to it. Like, ain't nobody really checking for dude like that. Get out of
here. Change your Twitter handle to Capadonna because that's what you are. We're out.
Yo.
Yeah. All right. The other questions. Do you think Hunter really has a plan for the returns? No.
No. Next question.
Not at all.
No. And it's not a knock. I mean, there were certain guys where I think Hunter just felt like, hey, I was working on that, and you just let my guys go. Like, let me get my guys back, and then I'll start coming up with plans for them. I don't necessarily think he's hiring them with a plan. I think that's very clear. I don't even think that's an insult. I think it's very clear that certain guys have just kind of come back and are just there, just so Hunter has them back under his wheelhouse, which is fine. If you're a booker that is like, hey, I know guys that I could use.
Right.
I want to have them. It's not necessarily like I have these guys that I want that I've got this 1 year plan for. No, he's hiring them back with way too much frequency to think that there's a long-term plan for any of them. But
I like how the theme of this episode so far is you giving a lot of credence to some of these questions And I feel like the answer is far and away no. Like there's nobody he's brought back that he clearly has a plan for, other than maybe Damage Control, because the plan has always been for the War Games match, and that's about the closest you're gonna get. Everybody else has just been get them back on the board, and we'll figure it out later.
But I don't know if I would consider it talent hoarding, though. I don't think.
No, I wouldn't call it.
I don't think the people are like, the contracts are flying in through the mail and shit, and they were like, we have to. I just think it was like he wants to, redo what Vince fucked up.
No, let all of my people back in. That's all this is. Get all my guys back on the board.
Mm-hmm. And then as far as Aldis is concerned and where he should go,
home.
Home. I think the obvious one is WWE.
Right.
I don't think that he fits what AEW is trying to do. If you're possibly giving me another Cody Aldis match, I'll take it. I think you could do a good one with WWE. There's other stuff that he could do in WWE, but
the hard thing is, there was talked about in the Observer yesterday that WWE's go-to is still at the moment for anybody new that they're bringing in NXT. And that the people that are being brought back to the main roster are all people who are already in the company that have already been through the system.
Yeah.
But and that was the talk of why Bandito accepted the AEW offer, was because
Bandito and NXT 2.0. Oh my God! Why that just sounds
that would have been amazing.
Fam, all this in NXT 2.0 sounds
it's crazy.
Ridiculous. Like, what are you gonna do with this dude in NXT?
And so the talk was they wanted Bandito to like move to Florida, and like it wasn't gonna make any sense for him as a performer to do that. And
y'all don't want to see Bandito and Chase U?
No, I don't.
Come on, man.
Man. I do not want to see Bandito wrestling Schism.
Nah. I'm good, bro.
Nah, bro.
I'm good.
So like, it's just interesting to think about. Like, all this has been around so long, right? Like, he was in Impact. He made, he stuck around NWA. Like, God, talk about riding a car till the wheels fall off.
Wheels is absolutely falling off.
Wheels are out of here.
Like, he's one of those guys that once he's off, then it's over. And he stuck with it. He stuck with it as long as humanly possible. Before deciding that it was his time. As far as where, if I were Aldis and the choice was mine, and I don't necessarily know that the choice is going to be his, but if the choice was mine as Nick Aldis, and look, I actually think that Nick Aldis came around as a performer. I remember when Brutus Magnus was first introduced. I don't know if you guys remember, but like back in, I think it was 2007, TNA had this thing on TNA Shop where you could buy like these what was it? They were like audio files, but you could buy like greetings from wrestlers, and it had like a list of names. And I remember we bought one just because we were dumb, immature teens, but we bought. So
was this like Cameo before Cameo existed?
Yeah, but it was all like pre-recorded, but like all the names were pre-recorded, and so we had one because we saw that they had the name Eddie in it, and there was another one that had the name Vicky, and so we bought like a gram from Nick Aldis that was disgusting. Like, I know, it was like, Vicky, we just wanted to tell you that Eddie really misses you, and like, and so it's just one of those dumb things I've always remembered since I was like, I think I still have it somewhere, but. I will say that Brutus Magnus initially was like a punchline for me. And somewhere along the way, Nick Aldis really came along as a performer. And, he definitely had one of the highlights of All In. Without question, he had one of the highlights of All In.
Yeah. Is it fair to say at this point that one of the worst things that happened to ROH at the time and Nick Aldis is my man turning into be a nasty boy? Because I feel like that was going to turn into a good program for him. And if you guys don't know, I'm saying Marty Skrull. Right. But I feel like him coming into WA and doing that program with Nick Aldis was going to be huge. And then he had to disappear, and he didn't really have an opponent for a while, and that kind of screwed him.
Yeah. I think Aldis is one of those guys that no matter where he decides to go, and this goes back to your last question, Jason, which is you can't bring Aldis anywhere without a plan. That's how I see it, is that anybody that decides to bring him in, if AEW decides to bring him in, you can't just like dead drop him in. You got to have a plan for him, or he will flounder really quickly.
Yep.
And I don't think he's one of those guys that people are willing to give a huge chance to, because he's good, but it's got to be a directed good. And that's how I feel about it.
And people have to remember the good. And they have to know that he's good, and they don't know because it's NWA. So,
yeah. Man, it's crazy to think about, but when Power first launched, it was a good show. It was a very good show, and then I just jumped off a cliff. I don't know.
I mean, well, part of it was that because everybody talks about all the cancellations that came out of Speaking Out.
Yeah.
But the one that kind of falls off is Dave Lagana, who was the creative behind NWA Power. And so when Power came back without Lagana,
wasn't the same.
It was not the same.
It wasn't the same.
When he said Power, I thought of the Star Show first. I was like, how did we get to Power Stars so fast? What a transition. But no, we're talking about NWA Power.
That's the answer. That is the Aldis rebrand. It's him coming.
Like, how did I miss Ghost versus James?
I'm saying we jumped really quick.
Nick Aldis on that.
This is what I'm saying. This is the rebrand. He's got to come out to Big Rich Town on SmackDown. Like all this coming out to Big Rich Town would be hard.
On SmackDown, it rhymes too.
Please don't.
Please don't.
I don't see that
let's see.
anywhere.
Anthony Jr. for you donated a Humper Chat. He says, which other celebrities do you want to see involved in wrestling, even for one appearance like a battle royal or entrance for a wrestler? I personally want to see RTJ and Idols do an entrance while streamer Germa985 enters the casino battle royale.
I don't know what those words were. I don't know what happened at the end.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening there.
Yeah, it just started.
Celebrities, is that just showing up for an appearance or wrestling?
Either one.
Celebrities that I want to see show up. I mean,
I kind of want to see.
we got a question.
Bow Wow's got it.
We actually, that actually brings us into a.
I was gonna say Michael Irvin just
question
because he's been going crazy
also
on the ESPN this recently, and he might have a pretty dope promo. I think Michael Irvin.
Michael Irvin with my man doing his ad libs behind him.
Yeah,
one of the best things every week. I love it
for real.
So Tony P had noted that he said, so will any of us be shocked if AEW gets Nyla to come out with Bow Wow to troll Jade at Full Gear? There is a piece of me that
I
feels
hadn't
like
thought about that, and I now want it to happen.
I do feel like somewhere along the way this did become a work, because if you start like watching how the interaction started with Bow Wow saying he wanted to come in, and then Jade throwing that first diss at him, and then she apologized, and then the disses started going back and forth. And I think somewhere along the way after the apology, they've been kind of working in tandem. And Tony also liked one of Bow Wow's tweets, and that was like, okay. Once Tony liked it, I thought, okay.
How did that? I'm curious at how the Bow Wow train got started here, though.
Because of Swervy Swerve.
Would you look at that?
RJ City.
Would you look at that?
Which, by the way, I don't know if we've noted this on this podcast, but that's kind of how the NWA stuff started this week, because a certain person that we interviewed said something about Empower, and then that snowballed.
That was really how that started. Like, I actually forgot about that until I was reading the story, when because at first I was seeing everybody upset about the Billy Corgan quotes, and so I was like, let me read it myself. I need to know exactly what he said. And so as I'm going through it, he was like, well, he starts addressing Maria Kanellis and what she said. And so luckily, shout out Fightful, which is the logo that's right over there. But as I'm reading this on Fightful links to what Maria Kanellis said, and I click on it, and it takes it to our podcast where we interviewed Maria, and I'm like, oh yeah, she said that on our show.
we got Maria in a lot of trouble.
Headlines,
My bad,
baby.
Maria. We got you into that one. We got you into that Divas belt conversation. We were out here being a
We're
minute.
just asking questions. I thought we were just asking questions. I don't know. What do you want from me?
Troublemakers.
No, I mean, and honestly,
Big
like
troublemakers.
that's the thing about Maria. Like, I have been friends with Maria for almost 13 years now, and one of the things that I love about Maria is just how candid she can be. She just talks, and she will just say what's on her mind, and sometimes sometimes it can get under your skin. Sometimes sometimes it's profound. Whatever it is, she'll just say it. She just speaks her mind. And she said what she had to say about NWA, and it wasn't even like a knock against NWA.
Right. It wasn't even
so
crazy.
Just a reminder of, yeah, it was just like, well, I'm running WWA, and as you can see, I have no shortage of female talent, and we fill up multiple cards a year on this. So
Yeah.
the idea that you can't do another Empower.
Yeah, those guys are shooting themselves in the foot with some of those quotes from that this week.
Oh yeah, Trevor Murdoch. Like, God, shut up, you guys.
That was crazy. I mean, at this point, just say that you couldn't make the show happen.
That's it.
And we'll make attempts to do it again. All the rest of this stuff around it is just kind of crazy. Like, come on.
I'll just
reel it in.
keep saying we working on it, bro. We gonna believe
exactly. Just keep saying you're working on it. You don't have to give all of these crazy responses, because I just feel like you're now shooting yourself in the foot every time you drop one.
Yep. Let's see. We have another from. Let's go with Anwar. Anwar says, "Good morning, everyone. Feeling well. What did you think of Wakanda Forever?" I have not seen it. I have tickets to go see it. I'm going to tell you, I am an old man when it comes to movies at this point. 35-year-old me no longer likes to go to movies on opening night.
Right.
35-year-old me gets morning tickets
Yes.
on. Like, I actually like going early on and having the rest of my day. And so I bought, my tickets are for... I couldn't go too early because I have a podcast to do tomorrow morning. So I have tickets at 12:50 to see it tomorrow afternoon.
That means you gotta be out of that podcast and in your car on time.
Kinda. I hate trailers, so like it's my least favorite thing in the world.
So I will say this about the trailers: this man Jonathan Major is killing it. There were 3 movies trailers ahead of this movie that had Jonathan Majors in it. 3. This dude is killing it.
About to be that guy.
He's about to be that dude. He's in the best shape ever. Like, this dude is
looking crazy in Creed.
But like, it was probably.
Yeah.
My heart.
What did I think?
The thing I hate about trailers, though, is, and I know some people still love them, but to me, it's like in the age of YouTube, I've already seen all this shit. I've already seen it on Twitter. I've already seen it. So like at this point, I would love it if trailers were shorter, because at this point, I think last movie I saw where I was actually there for the trailers had 30 fucking minutes of trailers. And look, my food only ever lasts me 30 minutes. And so I'm at a point now where I have intentionally started planning showing up to the movie 15 minutes after it starts, just to guarantee me I don't have to sit through trailers, because I fucking hate them. I'm like, I've seen all of this. I've seen it all on YouTube. I've seen it all on Twitter. Wherever it is, I've seen it. I would love it if trailers would just like show me a minute of it and then go, hey, see the rest. Scan this QR code, see the rest on your own time.
It's supposed to be a trailer, not the whole damn movie.
Yeah. I've just accepted that seeing trailers are a part of the movie going experience. And so it doesn't bother me. I just am prepared for it to not either be in my phone, not paying attention to the trailers, or just it is what it is. But I don't know how that I don't know how Ryan Coogler did this. Well, yes, I do. The guy is a genius. But he's managed to top the first movie, in my opinion. I think this is a better movie in almost every way. And I think that was a tough task with the situation he's dealing with.
Oakland, California is how he does it.
Big action.
And I think he did it. I think he did a great job with this movie. I think that it would have been very easy to cave and just recast the character. But I think that he took a huge risk in not recasting it, and sticking to his guns, and making this movie a tribute to Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I think one of the greatest MCU experiences is going to see Infinity War and after the snap and seeing just how quiet people were when they realized like they're really not coming back. This is the end of the movie. And to have that be a real world thing this time around and have the opening credits roll and you got like a legit moment of silence for this man. It's one of the most beautiful things.
I haven't seen anything.
That has nothing to do with the movie. No, I'm just saying the credits. How's the credits more than anything? What's wrong with you? the opening credits, you got a legit moment of silence for Chadwick. And I think that was one of the most beautiful things that Marvel has managed to do. And so, yeah, shout out to Ryan Coogler, man. He did a great job.
The next one, though, they should recast Black Panther, right? That should be a thing. Like, it shouldn't be forever. It's like Spider-Man. It's like Batman. It's like anything. It's like there's not just one
you'd have to
superhero ever.
In the next iteration of the MCU, whatever they end up doing, that's when I would do it. But otherwise, I wouldn't necessarily. I think the MCU in itself is a living, breathing universe. And so you lose actors, you lose the I feel like you lose that character in a sense. Now, I don't think the MCU is going to last forever because, like, let's face it, I can't imagine that that's the last time we've seen Iron Man for a generation, right? Like, at some point, somebody. But I think when it comes time to kind of start all of that over, I could see it. Yesterday, I actually sat back and, like, Billy wanted to watch Black Panther yesterday. And so I go in Disney Plus and I hit the Black Panther collection they have. And then I look down and I'm like, wait, before we watch Black Panther, let's watch Civil War. And so we watched Civil War first. And one, I forgot how great Civil War was, but and a really great introduction for T'Challa as like everything. I feel like I forgot how much I walked out of Civil War wanting to see Black Panther because that introduced us to the character, that introduced us to the why, that gave us so much to start with. And then after that, then we went and watched Black Panther. And then I was like, you want to watch Infinity War? And Billy's like, yeah, I want to watch Infinity War. We watched Infinity War. And then today we'll watch Endgame. So really, we will have gotten all of the Chadwick movies out before we go watch Wakanda Forever tomorrow.
Yeah, so. Nice, beautiful father-son moment also. That's great.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I went with my dad. So it just, I mean, me and my dad have seen both movies together. But I think that he did a great job. I think to me, when you get into recast stuff, I'm with it as long as it's Ryan Coogler's plan. If he decides he doesn't want to recast and he has a vision without recasting, then let him do that. I don't like the studio mandating something on him and then him trying to work around that. I think there's something to because I've seen some of the response that people are like, oh, well, they're getting rid of a prominent black protagonist and that ruins representation for black men. I think there's something to be said about the power that Ryan Coogler has wielded here and being able to say, no, this was my real friend in real life. I'm not doing this without him.
Gotcha.
That's fair. Let's see. We got best rap song about weed. We've answered that before, I feel like.
I think so, a couple times.
But
a couple times. Let Graham answer then.
All of them.
Come on. You got to pick
nothing
one.
like money in a Ziploc bag.
Oh, my God. I feel like Grapsody has done an amazing job keeping BET Uncut alive, by the way, because the amount of songs that we can reference.
All right, today I'm going with Don't Give Me No Bam or Weed. That's the hardest hip weed
Gotta
song.
roll with it. Fire.
Weed.
Nah, that you just unlocked like all of them Joker the Bail Bondsman hits. I mean, I say hits, but it was like
I was about to say, I don't know if I would call them that.
I mean, they were hits if you were up at 3 a.m. trying to watch some booty cheeks on BET Uncut.
I was.
That's
definitely.
It was a lot of stuff that was on BET Uncut that I definitely wouldn't call as a cut or a hit, but I know the words to it. Like no.
Yeah, I rarely remember the names of the artists to keep it a buck with you, but I mean, Hitman Sammy Sam was going crazy. What's the dude that was white? Girls, he was
Mighty
going crazy.
Casey. Yeah.
See, there you go.
Yeah, man.
Who had the I'm trying to kick it tonight?
Yeah.
So baby, tell me what that thing smell like.
That thing smell like.
Come on, man. That is a
Classic.
That is a cult classic.
Oh
Cult
my
classic.
god! I can't believe that was a show that existed. They were like, "We're gonna play the raunchiest videos at 3 a.m."
Yeah.
Hop in.
Which, by the way, and to throw this in there with wrestling stuff, I'm sorry if people tuned in to talk about wrestling, but to this day, the fact that Biggie got a BET Uncut reference on TV. No, New Day is the best. And I don't care that Usos broke their record. New Day is still the best. New Day is still better than them. And
we got to talk about the record. It's here. I'll get a couple more Humper chats in, and then want to talk about it. Man, I actually got tears streaming down my face. I was laughing. Let's see. Shout out Jennifer. Jennifer is always a great supporter. She says, Grapsody gents, thank you for everything you do. I can't say enough how much I appreciate each of you. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing and take care of yourselves and each other.
Thank you, Jennifer.
It's an outro to Jerry Springer.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I'm glad you got what I was doing there. But the... let's see. Caden says, good morning, Grapsody guys. Cheap plug for my interview with Billy Starks on Overbooked today. I've seen a lot of hate on Wakanda Forever, but I personally loved it. I haven't seen any hate. Where's the hate?
Listen, I haven't seen any of the hate, but I think people have to stop paying so much attention to people that don't like something they like. Who cares?
Right.
Like, as long as you liked it, let people that don't like it have their opinions. Who cares?
And I got another one. D-Lo says, shout out to the fellas. Great show on Ask Grapsody. Really? Because I accidentally ended it early. But that was my bad. He says, no spoilers, but Angela Bassett cooked. If you know, you know. You Bombay and Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, look. She did not get the Oscar she deserved for What's Love Got to Do It. I'm just going to start the campaign right now. Give this woman the Oscar she deserves for Best Supporting Actress in this movie. She is a national treasure. Should have got this Oscar.
Facts.
Come on, make it happen.
Man, she didn't get it for them buff arms as Tina. She needed it now.
She gonna knock somebody out of this.
Saying, bro.
Speaking of Tina. Tina Keys says, good morning.
What a segue.
I'm saying transitions, bro. It's like that.
What a
I
segue.
like that.
Just sending love and well wishes, condolences to Phil, and of course, on trend for the weekend, Wakanda Forever.
Ooh, black people are
gonna be the theme of
outside,
the
boy.
episode.
I'm loving it.
I knew I had to see the movie. Like, I tried to buy tickets for yesterday. I was like, okay, I can't go into Grapsody having not seen it. But tickets looked like hell yesterday. It was like all that was available was sitting dead center, like right at the front of the screen. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna have a headache the next day. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna just go Sunday morning when I can sit where I want to sit and eat what I want to eat. And
everybody's gonna be watching football. Good time to go.
So,
yeah.
Every seat was available Sunday morning. So, or Sunday afternoon. It's 12:50, so it's afternoon by that point. Shout out Aaron Busby says, "What up, fellas? What's poppin', Graham? Stay strong, Phil. Birthday is tomorrow, so just want to spread love to y'all, making my Saturday mornings poppin'. Also, Nas's KD3 is perfection.
Happy birthday, bro."
Hey, happy birthday. What's on the agenda,
See,
man? Send me the flyer. Send me the flyer.
Happy birthday, Mobby.
Yep, and happy birthday. Happy birthday, Busby. Yeah, no, I walked into this whole show behind because I didn't get to listen to Nas yet, and I didn't get to
Still haven't watched any of Atlanta, I bet, either.
Oh, man. Damn.
Nope, I have not.
That's on me, too. It's hard out here. I don't know. Which one for
I will say this now that this
it's over, right?
It's officially over.
Yeah.
The way that this man came into the fourth season with an agenda of giving an entire commentary on creating something for black people and kind of made that his mic drop was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to watch the entire season to see everything that he's essentially saying. It's brilliant.
Shout out to Don and Steve Glover over there.
Don
Doing some amazing things.
Oh my. This one took me a second, but Luis says,
Yo.
Minimum effort.
Yo,
very good.
Yo,
minimal effort there.
Y'all keep trying to get us in trouble with this Sarah Logan thing. Listen, she came in and gave her guaranteed rape Max Impaler thing, and I mean, I just it's just like, man, look, I don't want to bash on her too much, man, but I don't know, man. Max Impaler is great, and I think the sad thing about this is that if you've never seen Max the Impaler and you only see this, you're not gonna appreciate it, and that kind of sucks.
Listen, Cat Williams give nigga, do you know that I could see you? Is what Max and the Impaler was watching SmackDown last night. Like, bro, I could see you. Well, you can't do my shit on TV. I could see you.
That's crazy.
It's crazy out here, man.
Unreal.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not really into any of this Viking stuff anyway. It just I'm glad they're getting more tag teams on television, but just ain't
especially
really
since they attacked the double minorities group. Of course, y'all did the niggas and the Latinos. Come on, bro. What's going on here? Why y'all pull it? This is the time y'all choose to pull up?
Valhalla.
Makes sense.
I don't even know what this word means. What is that?
What is that? I don't know what that is.
What is
Yo, put the definition on the screen when they pull up.
You see how Grapsody starts? You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead, take cues from the people that's doing it. Come on now. Dang,
crazy out here, man. Real crazy.
I'm saying.
Jake Salazar says, no, not that the makeup. It's because they let me iterate this right. It's because they only really jumped the black group.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They had their feud with New Day that didn't really go anywhere, and now they're adding them to this feud that I don't know. I like the Vikings as a tag team. I'm just not into this stuff they're doing with. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's not working for me.
Come on, man. Let it play out, bro.
I guess we still got to give it some time. So
God.
I don't know.
Do we?
I want to talk about it though. SmackDown.
What, the Vikings or just SmackDown?
Well, SmackDown this week opened up with the tag titles on the line between two teams that we've seen go at it for a really long time. This feud's been going back to 2015, and I can't believe we're going on almost 8 years of this.
Yep. The
New Day and the Usos. I think, as far as tag team feuds are concerned, probably the GOAT. It would be really hard for me to pick one above it. Like, I know Hardy's Edge and Christian is one that people pick often. That was like a year, right? Like, what's interesting and what I love about the New Day versus the Usos is that we've seen various iterations of it. It's not like we've seen the same New Day and Usos go at it, right? When this first started, I said 2015, right? So, like, we're talking about, old school Usos, which is weird to think about that, but that's what it was, right? And we had a heel New Day when they started this the first time, and for it to then come back around when the Usos retooled themselves in 2016 and the New Day became top baby faces. Again, it was like we just saw a different side of these two teams, and then again, we saw them both as baby faces. We've just seen it, we've seen it a million times. And I like that they continually. There are a couple of times where it's felt like, okay, a rehash, but for the most part, I have felt like they've come up with new ideas. They've done new things, and this was, oddly enough, what felt like one of the most important, because the New Day had a record to hold on to. The New Day, of course, they were the longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions in history with that Raw Tag Team title reign that they had from, what did they win it at the end of 2015, lost it at the end of 2016, if I remember correctly. They had that record set.
Who did they beat for the titles that started it?
Primetime Players.
Was it? I thought it was New Age
think so.
Outlaws.
No, it was the Primetime Players that they beat.
First time around?
The first title reign that they had, because the first one was shorter. The first one they beat. Oh, don't tell me. Wasn't it Claudio and Tyson Kidd? I think it was. It was who they beat the first time around. And then second time around, they beat the Primetime Players for them. And they held on to them for over a year. The Usos beat the New Age Outlaws, if I remember correctly. The New Day beat Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, I want to say. And somebody in the chat correct me if I'm wrong there, but I don't think I am. I think I remember the tag.
No, I think it was Primetime Players.
Yeah. For that super long reign. But yeah, so they had the titles a long time. So they had that record-setting reign, and that was the biggest claim to fame the New Day had. Like, literally, in their introduction, Big E was always able to say, clap for your world-famous, longest reigning tag champs, and feel the power, right? But like and that's been a claim that they've had. It's been a part of their promos. It's been a part of their everything they do, and it's a big part of their identity. So for that to be on the line last night, I think made the opening of last night's SmackDown feel really special and really important. And yeah, in the New Day, they're on a tear. Not the New Day, the Usos. The Usos are on a tear, right? They're having the run of their careers. So the question became, well, which was going to hold? And I think we all knew it was going to be the Usos. But it was a fun, exciting match. And I like that it played on the history that these teams have had together. I almost wish Big E could have at least been in their corner for it, just to add to the symbolism of this match. But I liked it. What did you guys think?
I thought it was a good match. It feels a bit hollow to me because they almost treat the New Day like they're washed, and I don't like that. I don't like that the New Day are now in this mode where they're trying to protect their legacy like they're not still active wrestlers. Right. And that's the part of it that I don't like. I don't feel like they're doing anything with the New Day coming out of this that feels interesting. It just feels like they lost one of their biggest claims to fame, and now they're just kind of like middling. Like what's next for them? And I get, somebody has to lose, and I that's not to say that I'm upset that the Usos broke the record, because the record doesn't mean anything in the sense that I think the New Day has cemented their legacy outside of that. They're still, in my opinion, the best tag team in the company, right. And they're still one of the best factions ever. But I just wish that they would do more with them, either individually or as a tag team, because they're like I feel like Woods has been wrestling some of his best matches since he came back from that injury, and you don't really get an idea of that because they just didn't do anything with his King of the Ring run, and then they went straight to this, and it was like once he lost, it was like, all right, well, moving on.
He did that tweet last night too, where he'd say like, I don't know if I have much more or whatever he said. So some seeds are being planted.
He said, I don't have. He said, I don't have anything left. That's
right.
Ooh. I don't know what that means.
Cryptic.
I don't know. Yeah, that's cryptic. I don't know if that means a retooling is coming, because that man fought so hard for that King of the Ring, all of it. He fought for the tournament to exist, and he ended up manifesting the victory. He became King Woods. I complain about this at least once a month, but he got a theme song done by Mega Ran, and they were like, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the match in itself was good. I just wish that the New Day's standing in the company was better at the moment, because I feel like it would have felt bigger if they also had other things going.
You saw it, Graham?
I didn't even.
Yeah, I didn't even.
No,
see
I agree. I think if they would have done more with the New Day leading up to this to make them, because like before, like they were just kind of like shuffling the deck with them and the Viking Raiders and trying to get this whole new thing with them off the ground and the foundation with that, but they wasn't doing nothing with the New Day that was exciting or that made them feel important or like a monumental part of the show to get to this point.
Right.
So. They did kind of seem like a little bit of an afterthought because it just didn't feel like there was a lot of effort put into putting stock in the New Day for this. It was just like, you guys know what the New Day is. You know the stats. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what's going on. So here, they're about to lose, and Usos get the record now.
I will say this too. I think that it's kind of crazy that they tell us all the time how important New Day is. Like they always like pub New Day up as one of the best things they've done with the company is putting them together. But it kind of says everything that New Day and Usos had to kind of build this match on their own. They didn't really do anything with them. That promo I feel like they had this week on Raw did more to build this match than anything the company has done. And I feel like that kind of says everything about what they've been doing with New Day lately. And it says everything that going into this match, I was like, all right, Kofi's going to get pinned because Kofi always takes the pin. And that's exactly what happened. I was like, yo, the downfall that they've booked for this man since he was WWE champion bothers me so much. And I don't want to get into it because I feel like I'm going to get mad, but I hate it. Like, I absolutely fucking hate it.
We're going to have a full podcast one day on the New Day because the success of the New Day is because of the New Day. The WWE tried to shut them down so many times to put their backs up against the wall. They had them in so much adversity. And just because the three of those guys are such great people, they made everything work, but they tried to get them to not work very often.
They've given them the worst to deal with on several occasions, and they've knocked it out the park. That backwoods thing only happened because he was like, yo, I'm tired of doing the same matches every week. I'm tired of doing the same pin and finish every week. I'm going to do something to pop myself and make this funny. And it worked because that's what Xavier Woods does. He manages to take something awful and turn it into something gold all the time. And I can see him being frustrated at this point. Like, yo, what more do we have to do?
And then for him, like off the G4 shit, G4 just shut down. He's in his company. They're like, it probably seemed like a lot's coming at him at this time. So shout out to Woods, man. He's gonna keep grinding. He's a man. He's gonna come out on top.
And as your show's resident G4 guy, I will say that that shit should have gone down because it was mismanaged.
Wow.
Hold on.
Let me cook.
It was. Oh shit! I lost my thing, and I'm Dan.
Yeah, Dan Housen.
Why are you turning to Dan Housen?
Dan Housen. What are you doing shooting on G4, Dan Housen?
There we go. And I say this because I think it was mismanaged from the start. I was like, so those that know me have known this for me a long time because I was big into the network. Look, I discovered that network in its pre-merger form 1998. I was channel surfing one day and I was like, oh, DirecTV channel 354 came across a network called ZDTV, and they had a show called GameSpot TV hosted by Adam Sessler, and at the time I think it was Lauren Fielder, and that at GameSpot TV eventually evolved, turned into Extended Play with Adam Sessler and Kate Patello, and then became X Play, Adam Sessler, Morgan Webb. Anyway, point being, I followed that network from 98, right? And that was my shit. I tweeted the other day about how, because other people were talking about how it was part of their daily routine. My daily routine was I would get home from school. I would watch Rap City. After Rap City was over, it was 106 in Park. After 106 in Park was over, I flipped to Tech TV/G4 and I would watch the screensavers. And then after that, I would flip to, usually it was like, I don't know, I'd watch The Simpsons or some shit. But either way, it was like part of my daily routine. Everything about me, when you think about the fact that I love hip-hop and I love technology and video games and shit, like I was molded by all of that at that time period. So when that network was relaunching, I was like, okay, I'm ready for it to come back because I think there's a bigger audience for what they were trying to do before than back. I think there's a bigger audience for it now than there was then.
Right.
And so I was interested in it. And I felt like they missed the mark at every turn. It was like, what exactly did you think was appealing about G4 before? Because you've missed all of it this time around. And it wasn't hitting for people because it was like they wanted to do... It felt like this time they were trying to be more Twitch, but it's like Twitch exists.
Right.
And so nobody's like clamoring for that so much. The thing that people liked about G4 more than anything, I think, was that they had great personalities and it was informative. And I thought that you guys were missing the informative part because you guys were just trying to be the personalities without recognizing that people got something from what you brought to the table.
Right.
And yeah, when they rebooted it, it was just like, hey, look at these personalities. Like, I can get personalities anywhere, but like, give me something I can't get elsewhere. Like, you guys are owned by Comcast, and being owned by Comcast means that you should have more access to certain things that average YouTuber doesn't have access to. So I don't know. You guys are going to go talk about the newest or the 30th anniversary of Mortal Kombat, right? Get me some interviews with Ed Boon, because I know you guys can get it. Or, you know, new iPhone just dropped. Cool. Get me an interview with, probably not Tim Cook. You're not going to get Tim Cook. But at least somebody high up that can talk about it, right? Like, you guys have access to certain people and certain things that you should have been taking advantage of, and instead you guys just tried to be Twitch with a higher budget, and it didn't take. And I think maybe going under was harsh, but
I was about to say, bro, like to sit and see Wood say this is his dream to be on G4, and you go, nah, I deserve to go on. This fucking no, like fam, like
okay, like it was
crazy.
his dream to be, like it was his dream to be on G4, but I think even he could see probably that
It wasn't the same.
It wasn't.
Some things
they
wasn't.
weren't doing G4 like G4 should have been done.
Right.
And I would have rather seen it, of course, retooled. I think that should have been the key, but I think they looked up and saw, guys, we're like not making any money at this. It's got to go. And yeah, I just think it was a bad relaunch from the start. And that made me really sad, because some days I do just sit back and like, let me watch an old episode of Attack of the Show from 2008 and reminisce a little bit. Like, sometimes I do that shit all the time. And I hate that they missed the mark across the board on it. And it's a shame.
Yeah,
Total shame.
Yeah, of course, don't want to see anybody lose their jobs. And
No.
just everything that's come of that is kind of sad. 'Cause there were a lot of talented people that were working there, both on the back end side and on television.
Right.
And that sucks. I mean, that's kind of what really sucks about what's happening with Twitter too, is that there are a lot of people that are like the unsung heroes of Twitter, somewhere losing their job, and those aren't the stories you're hearing. You're just hearing people making their jokes about Elon Musk when real people are affected by that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping for whatever's next. I hope that whatever Jack Dorsey has planned for Blue Sky, like, turns out to either, I wanted to do one of two things. I wanted to either launch and be successful, or I wanted to launch, be successful, and show the rest of social media that, hey, there was a way to do this, and we kind of got in over our heads making these companies public and trying to adhere. Like, Jack Dorsey's admitted that, hey, I probably shouldn't have taken Twitter public. That was a mistake, because at that point then we were beholden to shareholders, and it became a money grab at that point. And so I'm hoping that whatever's next gets back to the basics of just create a network for the people, and that's it.
Because it's looking bad out here for Twitter. I'm gone. Like, every day it's like, all right. Yeah.
I mean,
get your
I'll say
things, you
this.
guys. We're leaving.
I'll say this, at the moment it's at least funny, but it's funny like I don't know. To quote Homer Simpson, like when a clown dies, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's it's
somebody's still dying, but there's a little bit of humor in here.
I mean, there's humor in everything. I'll find a way to laugh at just about anything.
Definitely.
Close to anything. But it does suck that I feel like a lot of people that are freelancers like myself, like, you get a lot of opportunities and you get a lot of exposure through Twitter.
Every opportunity that I have pretty much has connected to Twitter.
Really?
I mean,
we only know each other through
From
Twitter.
Twitter.
I was about to say this
podcast.
the podcast wouldn't exist without Twitter. I mean, there are tons of things that I've gotten to do as a creator that I would not have gotten to do without Twitter. And so that part of it also sucks, that I feel like in some ways real experiences and stuff, like people that have made real friendships and done like real impactful things on Twitter, is getting erased, and this billionaire being bored and fucking up people's lives. It sucks, but that's, of course, American capitalism. World isn't fair, and that's where we are.
It's kind of surprising that Twitter has actually lasted this long, if you think about it, because things don't be lasting long with us. We will shut some shit down pretty quickly.
It's crazy too. Well, yeah, Twitter launched 06, 07, and here we are in 2022.
I think I got on in 09, so yeah, it's been I'm surprised actually we got to 2022. Good for us, because MySpace and those were
how long did MySpace last?
Not for 11, 12 years. 13
years. MySpace really got popping in 04, 05, and then by about 09, everybody was like, "You're still on MySpace?"
Yeah. It was over for them. Facebook came in and took over. Facebook has kind of had a run, I guess.
Yeah, but even still, Facebook is that thing I keep open because I don't want to lose touch with family members who are also keeping it open for the same reason.
Exactly.
But I don't actively use it.
I gotta see what my Aunt Linda's talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
Talking about today, see her getting her shit off.
I don't get on Facebook at all. And everything I've decided from Facebook, every time I get on there, it's like, yo, if there are people that only can access me through Facebook, we probably don't need to talk.
Right. Pretty much. Yeah, that's where I end up too. Yeah. Old high school friends, I'm like, I don't even know why I'm still following you, bro.
Some of them be over there talking crazy, man. I don't know what's going on over there. They're getting all their conspiracy theories off. Y'all keep that.
Back.
I think the thing that I like about Twitter, and it's ultimately the thing that every other network has missed on, and it's why Elon Musk wanted it, right? Because it's the most conversational app. It is where the conversation, Twitter is ultimately number 4 in terms of popularity. It is not as well used as any of them. TikTok kicks Twitter's ass. Instagram slaughters it. Facebook is still ahead in terms of usage. And so it's not even the most popular, but it controls the conversation. It controls what the conversations are happening, what conversations are happening in the world. Literally, SNL today is literally just writers sitting around going, all right, what are people talking about on Twitter? Let's write some sketches.
There's movies. What's that? Zola, whatever that movie was. There's
Zola?
Movies Zola based off Twitter. One of those things based off Twitter threads.
One of those things.
There's things there's news stories that come up there's music, there's everything that has came off the backs of this. So it's going to be interesting moving forward how entertainment changes off of not having something like Twitter to be on.
I think whatever comes next, because there's all these competitors trying to do their thing, and I've seen people saying I'm going to Tumblr, doing their thing. I think
you're not.
We're not about to be on Tumblr, you guys. Stop it.
I know. I'm not taking anything seriously. Like I said, I'm willing to give Blue Sky a chance just because at least it's a lot of the brains that were behind Twitter, basically trying the same thing. Because ultimately, if you can't be conversational, you don't have it.
Got it.
If you can't create conversation in your app, and the thing is, TikTok can be conversational, but at the same time, I ain't trying to sit around making videos for a 2-second thought. Literally, it would take me way shorter of a time to just type out 240 characters than it is for me to open up my camera and make sure I look good and give my thoughts out. I'm not trying to do all of that.
I'm not going up over there. I suppose as a musician, I'm supposed to be over there at TikTok, and I just cannot. Every time I open, I'm like, I can't, bro. I'm out of here. I cannot. I absolutely cannot.
You gotta push your new single, man.
I'm not about to be in there doing this shit, Graham and all that. No, you're not about to have me out there looking crazy.
You're not about to over there doing the cuffing challenge?
No way. You're not about to have me out there looking crazy. I cannot. I absolutely cannot. That's why I'm like, we got to go somewhere else. I can't go to TikTok, man. I can't.
I like TikTok, but again, it is one of those things that I don't personally have the time to dedicate the content.
We're not the demographic for
we're not
TikTok.
Right.
Like I said, I'll scroll TikTok and I'll watch a couple of things, but it's I don't have the capacity to create TikTok content. But on the other hand, look, I've been writing my whole life. Writing is a thing I'm actually fairly good at. And so if I want to just express some thoughts in a written form and get them in a concise 240 characters,
get these takes off, as they say.
I'm going to get these takes off. And that's what I've enjoyed about Twitter. And that's what and look, I know that it's not necessarily, because again, I get what Elon Musk is after. I get what he's trying to do. I fully understand what the motivation behind the the verification thing is, which is
money?
that not even money. He doesn't care about that $8. That $8 makes no dent in what he gains and what Twitter makes. What he wants is ultimately to delegitimize journalism. And he said this. Right. He said it yesterday, right? He said yesterday that I want to see more citizen journalism. And he feels like
fuck is citizen journalism?
Some wild shit.
Well, what he wants is for...
It's not a thing, bro.
I know, right? He wants the guy in his basement making YouTube conspiracy videos to be seen on the same level as somebody who writes for the New York Times. Exactly. And so he feels like the way to do that, right, is to allow everybody to have access to the check mark. So that way, when you're viewing news, you don't know the difference between conspiracy guy and journalist who's been at this for 35 years, right? And then the idea is supposed to be to sow distrust. So then at that point, you don't know who is reporting to you accurately. So therefore, nobody's reporting to you accurately. And then therefore, his class can all do what the fuck they want because whatever reports on it are happening. Because that's the thing that they hate right now. Trump was exactly like this. Trump was like, he was the whole fake news push. This whole thing is that same idea. The idea is to delegitimize reporters, the media, press, whatever it is, by putting non-media press at their same level and thereby making the system crumble and then giving them the ability, because that's the thing they hate right now. It's like, hey, we used to be able to do what the fuck we want. Now I sneeze, and all of a sudden there's a report out there from the New York Times that
snowflakes.
There's a report from the New York Times that says, hey, he just sneezed today. What's wrong with his health? And these people are like, well, we can't do anything anymore without them reporting on us. So we need to figure out a way to crush their system of reporting.
Well, I mean, if we keep it a stack, he can still essentially do what he wants. I mean, he's a wealthy white man in America. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
He can, but think about how much his divorce was reported on, right? And how much that was eating him up inside.
He hated that.
Fuck about that.
He gave a fuck about that.
Like, no, I'm saying I don't care about his divorce. I could care less about this rich man's divorce. But I get what you're saying, but I also think like, when you give power like that to the basement journalist or citizen journalist, as he called it, then you get in a situation with Alex Jones where now you're giving him the power to say things that he shouldn't be saying online. And then you now are sued for billions of dollars because you're saying stuff that you have no business saying. And you have people listening to this clown that have no business listening to them.
But he wants that, but not from the idea of wanting people to believe all of that. He wants it all to be seen.
Yeah, I don't think that's what he wants at all. I don't think he cares about people believing it.
Yeah, no, he wants people disbelieving credible stuff by seeing it all at the same level. And so
it's working because it's been fucking me up. These check marks, I'm like, oh, somebody with a check mark, and then I go on their thing and they're like 100 followers. I'm like, wait.
That's exactly what it's doing too. It's just like
all these troll accounts getting their stuff off. It's like,
it's going crazy out there.
And the thing is, I mean, even taking it to a wrestling standpoint, right, is that there is some validity, or there has been for years, of like, you see Sean Ross Sapp says something, he's got a check mark next to it. Yep. You know that there's a little bit of credibility to that. You know that you can at least trust that Sean did the work because he is seen with credibility. Right. But now, any asshole who's got that check mark next to them can just go around and say that they could go around, post certain things are happening backstage, whatever, and it's like, well, Sean's got a check mark, he says this guy's got a check mark, he says this, so I guess we just can't trust wrestling media at this point.
There are people that were doing that anyway, though. Like, there are people like, oh, you can't trust any of these media guys, they're all liars. And it's like,
but those are the guys who want to see this happen, that want to see the system of reporting crumble. And that sucks, because I think that is going to backfire in a big way. And I think that's the reason why, despite all of the backlash to this happening, with all of these, look, I've been laughing my ass off at some of this shit. Are you kidding me? The U.S. Department of Education tweeting that all student loans are gone.
Then have to retrack and be like, actually, that was a fake tweet.
We never said, that was a fake tweet. Look, I think all of this shit is hilarious. All the Elon Musk accounts, they've been great. But you notice how with all of this happening, Elon's not looking at the solution as, well, this is what we need to do. We need to, I guess, go back to a true system of verification. He's gone to clearly, all verification needs to go if this system's not going to work. And it's like, no, you had a system that worked, and it was verify. The idea of verification was not supposed to be an elite versus the commoner, right? It was supposed to be that to stop imposterism. It was if somebody has an account that wields a little bit of verbal power, that you need to make sure that they are legitimately that person. That's all it was. That's all the check marks ever needed to be. And
I guess I would say to wrap this, because people need to be careful with this, is that all of these things start very funny. The Trump stuff started funny at one point, and it stopped being funny when he was standing in our fucking Oval Office and we had to actually listen to the clown.
I know, right?
Everybody said that they was gonna move to Canada if he got elected. So we don't believe none of y'all that's talking about. I'm going to Tumblr. I'm going to Instagram. Like, y'all ain't going nowhere.
No, we're staying.
Yeah,
we're gonna accept this awful, horrible thing, just like we did the pandemic. Like, oh, this is just our lives now. That's what Twitter is gonna be like. This is just our lives now.
I don't know. I will say that. Granted, moving to Canada took a whole lot more than like moving apps. Like if it's literally just like install something else new on my phone and start typing there. Look, my thing is I will go wherever my folks are. Like that's it. That's that's how I feel. If everybody I knew started moving someplace, let's go. Let's go. You know, I'm not gonna be tumbling to myself, but but either way, hey, C. Romero said, "Sup, fellas? Will, you talked a few weeks ago about missing the Temptations play. They came to Omaha, Nebraska. It was fire. By the faces in the crowd, their music definitely brought people together."
Yeah, for sure.
That's dope.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to go. I had tickets in hand that I had to give to my kids. Performing arts teacher, which at least it was the right person, right? But I wanted to go to that play. Words from Wills says, shout out to the three kings of Grapsody. Question, have y'all noticed Bray is getting a little slimmer with every promo? Is it possible they delayed us with the spooky dookie to give him time to get in shape?
Spooky dookie. What the fuck is spooky dookie, bro?
Spooky dookie is
with
crazy.
The spooky dookie.
I actually kind of like that a lot. Nah, fuck it. I'm not saying scary shit no more. I'm saying spooky dookie.
I mean, it's Bray Wyatt, so I mean, it's pretty fitting. It is a lot of spooky dookie. So,
no, I mean, look, because that was the thing people were kind of commenting on when Bray first showed up at Extreme Rules. They're like, oh, he looks heavier than before. But look, man, as somebody who was heavier, I mean, look, getting in shape is something that we do, and that's something that
and like being on TV, like he was not on TV, so of course he doesn't care. But then you see yourself on TV, and you're like, hey, yo, like he probably wasn't even from the fans. It could just be him seeing himself and being like, oh, I should do better for myself, or whatever the situation is. You don't really know with health and all type of shit what's really going on. That's why I hate commenting on shit like this.
Yeah,
I don't know what this man's going through.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'll always shout out anybody getting in shape because I know what that's like.
Right.
So,
I mean, to go back to the Chadwick thing, remember when he lost all that weight and people started jumping on him?
Bam.
And it's I think don't always comment on people's weight because you just don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
I mean, if it's just him trying to get back in worker shape to start wrestling again, I get it. But I mean, I don't want to comment on it other than because we just don't know.
Yeah,
exactly.
We don't. And then I'm guessing that was for Graham. Also, is that Andre 3000?
Oh, wow.
Really?
Listen, man, I get it all the time. It's either Andre 3000, it's Nipsey, it's Snoop. It's
Nipsey. That's the one. Yeah.
Not Graham with the flute. Randomly, you see Graham somewhere in the airport with a flute playing. Nah, that's
crazy.
Yo,
Catch me in Soho, man. I'll be
I'm
out
saying.
here with some overalls on, man. Just checking out the garden. You know what I'm saying?
With a cardigan.
You feel me?
Jake Salazar said Road Dogg was wrestling Riff Raff. Yep.
Yo,
Yes.
swag on top of swag, on top of Gucci bag, swag on top of swag.
Tiptoeing in my Jordans. I've been-
Hey. I thought for a little while he was saying that he was training himself to become a wrestler, Riff Raff. I wonder what happened
Yo.
with that.
He was.
Stop.
Man. People be
Yeah,
capping,
no,
bro.
He
You
got
said it,
buffed
bro.
and everything. No, I was like, hey, Riff Raff about to be out here.
Stop, bro.
I don't
You
know what
said it,
happened to
bro.
him.
You said it at the top, bro. Capadonna, bro. People be lying, bro. They just be saying stuff, bro.
People do
Riff Raff
just
gotta
be
get out of
saying
here.
stuff.
Come on, man.
No, you could just be saying whatever out here.
I mean,
It's just-
seeing Riff Raff as a wrestler though, like
I mean, he got the aesthetic right there, though. He looks like a wrestler for sure.
but not like a star, but like
Definitely when you're creating a wrestler and you shuffle through the pre-made
You feel
preset
me?
one, he's one of those for sure.
All the tattoos, got the grill. I'm with
I
it.
know.
That's great.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it happens when you're trying to play career mode. You don't want to like go through the
I
whole
don't
creative
want to
wrestler.
take time doing all
So you
this.
just hit shuffle and it just gives you all the options. That's
Oh
Riff
my
Raff.
God.
That's Riff Raff.
Yeah.
As long as my man got a Falcon arrow, I'm rolling with it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I went through a period where I watched a lot of Riff Raff videos. That's why I knew that song right away, because like it's just one of those train wrecks where you just can't look away. Like he used to have those freestyle videos. Like one of my
Oh,
favorites is the
man.
one where he walked in with the rolled up 20 in his nose, and I was like, "Yo, you just not even gonna hide it. You're tooting on YouTube, bro. You just take a whole line on
Do
YouTube.
not
Like, cool.
care. Did not care. Character.
Jake also said,
and
also, I have never in my whole life heard somebody say, you remember that Road Dogg match?
Never, not once.
Nobody.
0 out of 0 times.
Nobody.
Maybe the dumpster match. I'm gonna shoot him a little bit of bell, but that's
But
it.
is that a Road Dogg match? That's really
Yeah,
the fact that it's a tag match. And
yeah,
we know-
right,
yeah,
right.
It's not
right.
a Road Dogg match.
Yeah, he right.
Nobody out here checking for no shake,
But
rattle, and roll, my G.
Board dude said, Brett still looked like Muffy from the Arthur, though.
What does that mean?
Hold on, let's see.
Well, I know
Arthur
what
was a
Muffy looks like, but Muffy is the rich kid, right?
I will say that Arthur was slightly after my time, so
Yeah, Muffy is the rich kid. I don't really understand the reference other than that.
Muffy.
oh yeah, I don't see that either.
I don't understand the reference. I don't get it.
Oh no.
Please
man.
explain, Albert.
People trying to get their shit off. Let Albert do his thing.
Leonard says regarding Aldis, he should go home to Impact.
Agreed. Yeah, he should.
When- the way you said Albert like that, I don't know if I've ever said this on this podcast, but my dad's name is Alfred, and he's a junior. At one point, that was in conversation for my name to be Alfred III. You really think of a world where Grapsody could have been hosted by an Alfred?
Oh my God, he really brought that around
man.
too. Come on. It's crazy. Here, I can't believe it. What's
you
the
did
song? Nasty.
Nah.
No,
Hey,
with
man,
the Nas
remember-
album dropping this week.
Yeah, no, let's move
I know.
on. Let's move on.
I know. With Nas dropping fire this week, we can't bring it back to Nostradamus.
Mm-hmm.
One of his worst records ever. Sorry, trash record.
You want
I
to
mean,
ball
it gave
ball,
us a-
I can
it
help
gave
you
this
with that.
podcast
It's
a
hard,
great
but,
moment.
oh, come on.
Nostradamus.
Just to back it.
Come
up,
on. You want to
can
ball
hold
till
my
you fall? I
eyes.
can help you with that. It's hard though. That's hard.
That was a trash record. Too.
That's
I
hard.
hated that record. Sorry, I hated a lot
Oh,
of
man.
Nostradamus. That album wasn't good,
Yeah, it was kind of. Yeah.
but yeah, no.
I mean, yeah. No, honestly, people were calling him a little bit of a candy rapper till Stillmatic. Like that. It was weird to think about the fact that it was like, Nas started out like, we had Illmatic, and then after that, he got really pop. And had he not turned it around with Stillmatic, I don't know what the perception of him today would be.
What would have happened if Jay never dissed him? Is a question I ask myself a lot. If he
Yeah.
had never dissed him and he never
Right.
came back hard, what would have happened to his career?
That's the real
Would
what
have
if.
just been missing. Look, it would have been Uchiwali the rest of his career.
It wouldn't have been
Damn.
no one mic. It just would have been Uchiwali.
Exactly. No, it wouldn't have been no either or.
It wouldn't have
just
been
been
even a
Uchiwali.
question.
Is it Uchiwali or Uchiwali? That's it.
I think it's Uchiwale.
And by the way, Blueprint 2, I think that just turned. I think the anniversary of that was either today or yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what? And I'm already seeing conversation about, is Nas King's Disease series better than the Blueprint series? I'm like, stop this. Let's not do that. It's been 2 days. Let's not do this. I get it, but let's not do this.
I hate that we're still doing this, but I did LOL at the bars that he had about where he said he was listening to Takeover and he wasn't over. That shit is hilarious. But it's still like, damn, can we stop?
I mean, it is over, Nas. You're like drinking next to this dude with the you're drinking wine with this dude, and you're like, no, it is over, boy.
It's over.
Y'all got a handshake. I seen a Rock Boys video. Like,
I'm saying, we saw you on stage, both posted up like that. It's over, bro. We good.
I seen you trying to fake conversation with Mariah Carey in that video. Like, you guys really were having conversation that was that funny. Like, nothing y'all were saying was that funny, bro. Like, come on.
You know how them rich boys be doing, man. They was having a good conversation.
So nah. I get it, Nas. It is over. You guys are both eating well at this point. This beef is over with.
Y'all are both very rich.
Yes.
Very.
Yes. Smiley says, "What's up, boys? Just checking in. About to get my claws done and get a drink. Also, hi, Reggie."
Hello, Tracy. Nice to see you, my friend. Enjoy your drink out there. Enjoy your claws. Enjoy it. Hi.
Chicken Lil Curry says, shout out Will for the Joker the Bail Bondsman reference. He was from Alaska. That was dope to see in cable. Also the white girl song reference. Yeah, Mighty Casey. Don't tell Minister Farrakhan. He don't want to know what's going on. Yeah, no, I watched all of it.
Wild lyrics, bro. Wild.
If you've never got a lap dance to I Ain't Got No Panties On, just let you know.
Pull the panties off.
You
Pull
might
the
be
panties
missing
off.
something.
You got to experience that. Yeah. And since he says his name was Curry, shout out to the Warriors for that dub last night. It was
Big action.
I'm saying it's getting a little spicy out there. Guys, your boys are working hard to try to come back from this. But, it's early. I'm going to keep saying it. It's early.
It's still early. It's still early.
I tweeted it earlier, and I'm standing by this, even with their record. Steph Curry is the best player in the world right now.
Oh, yeah. Steph is cooking. Man. But we're going to need the rest of the team to get the shit together. Draymond just be punching and kicking and throwing and body slamming. He don't care about nothing.
He's next. Triple H finna pick him up.
I'm saying.
Let's go. Put that in your Infinity Gauntlet memes.
Yeah, he gonna be standing backstage during Emma segments. Like that's what you're saying. Yeah, what was that segment this week? That was
Nuggets took the L last night to the Celtics, which I saw coming. I was like, all right, Celtics at home are doing fairly well.
They're balling.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But Nuggets got the Bulls tomorrow. Phil.
The Bulls are probably gonna lose that game, but it is.
What's the Bulls record right now?
5-4, I think. 6-4.
6-7.
I was right about the win. 6.
Yeah, okay. Cavs though.
Cavs are balling too.
Where's this season coming from?
Where did that come from?
Donovan Mitchell's on
I
his
figured they were going to be good, but they're better than I thought they were going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
LeBron at home, mad as hell. Like, yo, don't be. Absolutely do not do this. I don't need people saying something about the Cavaliers too on top of it.
Right. Lakers in the mud. Everybody calling me a liar. Like, Cavs are up.
Honestly, the LeBron lie memes have been getting me.
They are hilarious.
Yeah, this is one of those that I feel validated because I started on this podcast and I said, "Yo, can this dude stop trying to pretend he's up on every trend and stop trying to act like he's Mr. Cool?" And then when I saw all of the lies, I was like, "I told you guys that this dude is a liar, man." But everybody won't take it seriously because I'm this Bron hater. No, this dude's been lying to you guys for like 12 years, bro.
You read that story? How about that? How he said he was? I think he was talking to Carrie Underwood. And he said they call him Lasso LeBron because he really likes country music.
Nobody calls you Lasso Bron, bro. Stop it. That's a nasty
Bron be capping.
That's a nasty thing to lie about.
That's the funniest nigga in the world.
That's my favorite nickname. That's my favorite nickname.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's my favorite quote. You know what I'm saying?
Lasso LeBron.
Lasso LeBron. Nah, I mean, I saw a couple of wrestling memes with it too. It was like, yeah, look, I said when I saw Stone Cold or when I saw Stunning Steve Austin lost, and I was like, look, this guy, you need to go to WWF, you need to go feud with Vince McMahon, and it's going to take you off. I'm telling you, you're going to be the guy.
I don't know, man. When I saw the news that Bret Hart signed that deal with Vince McMahon, that 20-year contract or whatever that was, I was like, I just got a bad feeling about this. Survivor Series gonna come around and he's just gonna end up in WCW. It's gonna be crazy. Goldberg gonna kick his head off. It's gonna be I don't know. I can't believe it. Like
Damn.
This man Braun is crazy. He's nuts.
Man, what a guy. Play some basketball, LeBron. Shit. Yeah.
He is trying to play basketball. They suck.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Look, like I'm opposite of Phil. Like I love LeBron.
Me too.
This shit is funny.
It's hilarious.
That's it.
It's funny.
And what about Russ showing everybody y'all's talking all that shit? Now I'm out here playing a little bit too. Like, shout out to Russ.
Look, all I'm happy is that basketball's back. Basketball is my favorite thing. I know that like pro wrestling is my thing, and that's the thing I know best. But God damn it, I love the NBA.
I couldn't be more happy that
like
basketball's back, but it gives me an extra bit of joy to see the Lakers not only in the mud, but seeing this guy get exposed for the fraud that he always has done.
This man just
Phil hates him some LeBron, man.
Phil, just revel in what you are, my friend. Just revel in what you are.
Have you not watched this podcast? I always revel in who I am.
Phil hates him some LeBron, boy.
I understand, bro. You hate the house party thing, like the trailer sucks. Why is Braun ruining your childhood? I understand.
It does. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna watch it. On HBO Max, definitely.
I'm gonna watch it, but you know what? I'm not gonna watch though. I saw they just finished the Half Baked 2, and that made me really sad.
Ew, why did they do that? Who's doing that?
They said they just wrapped production. The only person back is Mary Jane. That she's the only one still in it.
Nobody
I might watch it for her.
Dave Chappelle's not there. Nobody's in it.
I know she is, but
she is fine though.
Yeah.
But what?
But why are they doing that?
Yeah, they just announced that they're done with production.
It's like when they did How High 2 and we were all like,
is gonna be like,
we don't need that at all. We don't need that.
If Lil Yachty is in this, I gotta pass, man.
And I like Little Yachty and DC Young 5, but like, don't do this. We don't need this. We don't need it.
That's it. It says Half Baked. I just found the headline. Half Baked 2 wraps filming. Rachel True confirmed to return. And I guess it's.
I love Rachel True, but that's not bringing me to
acting like Rachel True was the star of that movie. Is crazy.
That's wild marketing. Right? Rachel True's back, and we're like, okay.
Rachel True returns.
All right.
Yo, that's crazy.
Where's she been at?
Right. It's fine though. Let's keep reiterating.
Yeah, I think what's a kind of a wild thing to me about Half Baked, and maybe it's just a Colorado thing, but like. When Half Baked 1 came out, obviously, the times were different. But I feel like weed isn't as taboo.
It's not.
It was then, to where, like...
It's way different now.
Yeah, it's way different now. It literally, we just had an election this past Tuesday, and multiple states continued to legalize it. So, like, it's not necessarily what it was then.
Colorado trying to legalize shrooms, too.
We did. We voted to legalize shrooms.
Word.
Yeah,
those
now
would be criminalized in Oakland.
I have to say, I voted yes on that. However, I didn't realize, and that's not to say I wouldn't have had I not, but I didn't realize what I was voting yes on, like, until after, like, I read through it, right? I read through the whole thing, and it was about regulating. The way they had worded it was regulating mind-altering medications or plants, right? But the part I missed in there was fungi. And had I noticed that, I would have been like, oh, shrooms. This is exactly what we're talking about. But I completely missed the word fungi in there. And so when they were like, well, Coloradans have voted to legalize shrooms. And I went, I did? And I went back and looked at the ballot and I read through that amendment again. And I was like, yep, there it was. It's totally
Colorado,
there.
Here I come, bro.
There you go, man.
Yeah, so Colorado did legalize shrooms. However, we voted no.
Turn your ass into John Moxley.
It was on the ballot to get on California's level. They wanted to start selling wine and harder liquors in grocery stores. That failed. So
they don't.
We don't.
Do you wait? What?
I thought that was everywhere. That's regular.
No, that's a California thing.
Do y'all have that Sunday thing where like y'all have to wait until like 12 to go buy liquor, or like y'all can't buy like alcohol after 8 or something? Like
no, we have liquor stores, right? So that's it. Like, and the liquor stores all fought to stop grocery stores from being able to sell hard liquor.
Oh, that is definitely a Colorado thing. You can go anywhere in the city of Chicago at this point and probably get liquor.
Bro, there's a liquor store down the street right here by my house that doesn't even sell liquor. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So what was
where
going
you
on?
gonna get the backwoods at?
So what was going on during the pandemic? Because here, there was a moment where you could go and buy open liquor in the city and get like liquor as takeout. Yeah. Like at restaurants. And
yeah, I mean, so it's basically just like they just won't give grocery stores liquor licenses. That's it.
That is so weird.
That's weird.
And we don't have it. Like, look,
that would never work here.
The most grocery stores can sell in Colorado is beer. And the way that the campaign ads, the way they were playing, and they were fighting hard. The campaign ads were like, in the state of California, they were like over 80% of Instacart deliveries that contained alcohol did not ask for IDs or failed ID checks. And so they were like, do you really? And they were showing like some teenagers ordering on Instacart. They were like, do you really want your teens ordering alcohol from their local grocery store?
Such a lie. You can't leave the order without an ID.
They're like,
I was about to say, that's definitely a lie. I hate campaign ads.
I just want to know where all the hot moms get their wine at. They got to go to a liquor store. You mean a 55-year-old fine ass mom is going to a liquor store to get her wine?
Yes.
Ew.
Yes,
Nasty.
You cannot. It has to be bought.
You got to get a cheese plate, some fruit, and the wine. That's the point.
I know. That's why they're in the same parking lot. You got to go to the liquor store first, and then you got to circle around and hit the grocery store to get
too many steps for
else.
the fine mom. Her kid's in the car. She can't be going to too many stores. She got one store to go to.
Yeah. No,
Shout out to all the hot moms. We love y'all.
That's Reg's genre. That's
especially me. Hello, if your mom's fine, send her my Twitter before Twitter goes down. Y'all know that.
This man says, send her my Twitter, not my phone number.
No, bro. I want her to see how I get my shit off first.
Right.
You think that's the icebreaker right there. That's the
exactly.
Icebreaker.
She's like, so about Bray Wyatt. I'm like, whoa, I do not. Let's move on, lady.
It is. You want to filter through his options.
I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I will say though, with election season having been behind us, I definitely have a crazy addiction to that shit. I hate election ads. I hate campaign ads. I hate all that shit. But you know what? Give me 6 straight hours of John King and Steve Kornacki at their board pointing at fucking parts of the map. That's my shit. I can do all of that. And
that sounds awful.
Bro says Steve Kornacki. It's crazy out there.
I was up till 5 a.m. Tuesday night, I guess, going into Wednesday, just watching them, looking at. I should not know the counties of Georgia the way I do, but the fact is, the 2018 election, 2020, and 2022, I have learned the Georgia map as well as I could possibly learn it because I've watched Stacey Abrams run and lose twice, and I've watched it all. I know that map really well.
That sounds awful.
This is my shit. I am
Crazy
addicted
way
to
to
that shit.
spend your day.
I fucking love it.
So what you're telling me at this very moment is that you would rather watch this dude pointed colors appear on a map than watch Atlanta. What is wrong with you?
He said it.
See him bring it right back around.
Yeah, he brought it. He's gonna keep doing that to us, Will.
And you know what's funny too? Is I'm actually watching Georgia, so it like all came back.
Wow. Wow.
What do you mean watching it? What? I'm watching Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm watching Atlanta.
He said, I see Clayco right here.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Crazy, man.
Atlanta is where they do that Sunday thing too. When you brought that, when I went to Atlanta for WrestleMania, I remember it being Sunday, and they're like, "No, you can't buy alcohol today." I'm like, "What? This is Atlanta,
that's
bro.
a South thing."
What you mean?
That's a South thing.
That's so weird. But they be turning up in the South. That's why they be pulling up, huh?
But again,
we can't get no drinks. Let me get some drink.
But the crazy thing again is that I live in Colorado, right? We we are going on year 10. It was 2012 that we legalized pot. Like, it is not. It has been so long. It is completely ingrained in our culture. You saw that tweet I posted of the awful Nature's Herbs and Wellness commercial.
Ooh, so bad.
It's so bad. I hate the idea. It's not that I hate the idea of them having commercials. Obviously, running a business, you should be able to buy ads wherever you're buying your ads. But it's just the idea that there are people sitting in jail right now. Yeah. And meanwhile, you guys are just nature's herbs, nature's herbs and wellness.
Yeah.
Concentrates in edibles.
That's fucked up.
Our strains incredible. It's like awful shit. I don't want to.
Strains incredible.
That's how the commercials go.
Welcome. This is America.
The funniest thing was the first year that pot was legal in Colorado. They couldn't actually say what they were selling. That eventually changed, but they couldn't say what they were selling, so they had to use like code words, but not even like traditional code words. Like the commercials would be like, "So, where do you go to have your fun?" They're like, "You like your fun to be a little green? Well, come on over to this place." And it was like you could not actually say what you were selling because it was all FCC regulated and it's still illegal at the federal level. So that was like you couldn't say it on the air, but you still had to try to imply it some way somehow. And now it's like nobody gives a shit anymore. They're like, "Come buy your cannabis products here at Nature's Herbs and Wellness."
Yeah. Do you like your money in a Ziploc bag?
Straight up. Man, free all my niggas that's locked up for weed, though.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
action,
reading too. Because, like, it's crazy out here. When I see a billboard, I'm like, that's dope. But also, what Will is saying is like, there's people that are locked down right now for a joint and that are going to be in jail for a long time. So we need to, like, figure it out.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. That's why I feel the way I feel. So, Caden says, any rap suggestions for newbies to the genre? See, you know what's funny about Caden, and I'm gonna always give you shit, Caden. Caden is so young.
Yep.
Like, Caden
that
sat
plays
with us
a big role.
I know. When we went to what was it? We were at IHOP back in Chicago for All Out, and Caden was with us, and it was like there were literally people at that table twice Caden's age, and so like it's tough, right? Because suggestions for newbies to the genre. Like, I've been listening to hip hop my entire life. Like, do I start you out back in with 80s music like I started out with? Probably not, right? Like, I don't know if that's gonna do anything for you. But I don't know.
It depends on what you're looking for. If you're just looking for fun music, it's different. If you're looking, because you don't listen to everything for the same reasons. Like,
right.
It's just like when we were just talking about Drake. I don't listen to Drake to listen to him kick knowledge. I wouldn't want to hear him. I wouldn't want to hear mature Drake. Who wants to hear mature Drake? There's nothing about this sound. You don't want relationship advice from Drake?
No.
No, I want him to be toxic and I want him to be petty and get his shit off. That's his entire rap character. Like, why would I want him to? That'd be like me in the mid '90s going like, man, I sure wish. I wish Hov would stop rapping about coke and start, actually kicking knowledge. No, man, get your shit off. The same thing with Griselda. Like, I don't want to hear Griselda kicking knowledge. No, I want the coke talk.
They are kicking knowledge, though. Don't get it twisted.
There's some knowledge in there, but you know what I mean. You're tuning in for Griselda for the vibes. And
I'm not going for life advice here.
Yeah, that's what's great. I think that's what's great about hip hop now and streaming. Like, you don't have to go to one rapper for everything. You go to Pusha T for the coke raps. You go to Drake for the toxic raps. You go to Lil Yachty for the fucking young boy. Whatever, I can't understand half of the shit they're talking about. You go to Playboy Cardi.
You don't like the you weren't a fan of Poland?
Poland is hard.
That track is pretty hard though. I
walk to Poland.
I listened to that and I was like, okay, this is kind of hit. But most of the time, I just don't get it. Like Playboy Cardi and all these guys, I'm like, I like it. I like what it's like. I like what it's doing, but I just don't get it.
I don't know. Recommendations.
It's hard
because there's such a big genre. It's just hard for me to just go pick this one album and think that you'll like it. Like, I feel like there's undeniable stuff. Like, I think King's Disease 3 is a great album, but I don't know if I would say that that's accessible for everybody. Like,
exactly.
Let's
gotta get it.
narrow this. Let's narrow this down for him. How about this? let's say, Caden, that what you're looking for specifically is lyricism. And because I think getting a good understanding of hip hop, that's probably a good place to start.
Yeah. If you're looking for something new, I'd say probably like Jid. The new Jid album, Forever Story, is really dope. I think for like as a general broad thing, like Jid does a lot of things that somebody that doesn't listen to hip hop can digest and they'll understand it. And he does it in a really dope way as far as like new stuff. If it's old stuff though, Tribe Called Quest, I'm going to recommend Tribe Called Quest every time. I think their shit is timeless. I think you could pull up a Tribe Called Quest song right now and be like, this shit is dope. And no matter what the year it is. So.
Yeah, I think if you're looking for something old that is accessible to anybody, I would say Wu-Tang. I feel like Interchamber, like they're the reason why they're like one of the most popular rap groups ever, because I don't care what your walk of life is, you can appreciate Wu-Tang.
Everybody loves Wu-Tang, seriously. I've seen every race, every gender, everything. They always like Wu-Tang. It's classic.
So like if I'm going for something new and we're talking again lyricism, you know, I was really big on, and I still am. I've probably listened to it at least 20 times since it came out. Still my favorite album this year. And I'm talking about Black Thought and Danger Mouse, Cheat Codes. That album.
Cheat Codes is hard.
Cheat Codes.
It's been a crazy year for music, man. I'm like, damn, the hell of bangers have came out.
A lot of dope shit. That's wild.
Yeah,
especially the second half of the year too. I'm like, yo, y'all were saving it up, huh? What's going on here?
Tana Talk is still hard. Like it's been a lot of crazy.
I think that's still my album of the year. I played it yesterday. Now it's like this shit.
And you forget Kendrick dropped an album this year. Like what?
Yeah.
I don't listen to it at all.
I haven't heard it since
I
the first
don't
time
listen to the Kendrick album.
Oh my god,
man, you guys!
It's the first one. It's just too.
It's good.
Much.
It's a really good album. I just don't listen to it that often.
But Lupe had an album this year that was great. Like,
dope album.
It was fine.
You know,
Freddie
Saba,
Gibbs
like,
put out a
Saba's album was great this year.
Putting out dope shit. Yeah, there's a lot of like really dope content out there actually. So
this was a great year. Like if there was ever a year to introduce yourself, like this is it. I think because you got a taste of everything this year. Even if your taste is like dance hall Drake music, like you got that this year. This is it. Like,
well, watch this, Drake. I've listened to both those Drake albums more than that Kendrick album this year. I
haven't listened to that Drake album since the first time I heard it. I was like, nah, I'm good. Thank you.
What was it called? Honestly, never mind or whatever.
Yeah,
I heard a couple from that, and I was like, yeah, never mind for sure, bro. I'm good.
Yeah, no thanks.
Or Drake also, Caden, if you like that type of thing. So yeah.
Pastel the Blur just sent us a donation. Thank you, Pastel.
I'm a little upset. Nobody said SouljaBoyTellHim.com, the DeAndre Way. Like, get this man the classics.
He started all this. We disrespected the man.
Come on, man. This is crazy.
Big Draco.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wouldn't say all that, Dante. The Kendrick album is very good. I just feel like you got to be in the mood for it.
Yeah. It's nothing bad about it at all. I think it just has to be like a time and a place. Like I can't bump this in my car. I'm like, I got to pull over and cry at some point. I don't have time.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to that record of him arguing with his girlfriend over and over. Like that's crazy.
Salute to the Alchemist though.
No, big year for Alchemist.
It's between Alchemist and Hit Boy for me for producers of the last 5 years, honestly, because every time they put out a new joint, I'm like, yo,
that's it. That was what I was so happy with Cheat Codes about, because like my favorite producer of the last 2 decades has been Danger Mouse, and like I hated that his name had fallen out of the conversation for so long, and then it was like, oh, here's Danger Mouse back, and he's with Black Thought, and I don't know. I was just over the moon about that album, and I just continue to listen to it every chance I get. You see, they dropped the video for the song with MF Doom, and it's very good. So.
Black Thought is also 50 years old and rapping.
He's also 50.
You can't. If I tried for 15 years, I wouldn't be able to rap as good as Black Thought. He is amazing.
He's the best.
Let's see. Graham B talking about the Usos said more like the Usko brothers, glorified tribute act.
Do we want to talk about it? Stole your whole shtick from the Young Bucks. All right, let's move on because I don't have time.
I mean, how far do we want to get into it? Because I feel like to notify my point that I feel like New Day is better than them. I feel like most of their best matches are with New Day, and that's for a reason.
Yeah, and New Day wasn't stealing from nobody. Can we move on? You guys are trying to get me caught up. Damn.
So, Caden says, without Twitter, I can't bug Will. I mean, it's
Like,
never a bug.
Where do you go to troll Will Washington if there's no Twitter? Like, if I want to just say
our group
something.
chat. What do you mean?
I mean, I know for me. Yeah,
Right. He's like, I'm thinking about Caden though.
Yeah, I'm trying to help Caden now.
So Raw had other things because Phil mentioned Raw opening up with that Usos and New Day promo. It's a good way to open the show. The show closed
until they brought your boy in there. That was.
Not my
Is it
boy.
dead? This is where we're starting out. Is Money in the Bank dead in the water? Is it dead?
First off, let's open this topic up because let's go back to June of 2022. Can we roll the clip here, please? Oh, we don't have the clip. That's okay. But I believe I said here on this show, Money in the Bank is fucking dead. Kill that shit. It's done. It's one of those concepts.
I don't think this proves your point, though. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
It kind of does. He challenged for the not world championship. Like it's dead. The concept is you challenge the world champion.
I don't think it's
he
that.
did it.
I don't think it's that the concept is dead. I think when you look at the last 4 winners, they picked 4 guys that shouldn't have had the briefcase. Let's go. Otis, Corbin, and now Theory. None of those guys should have won a briefcase. That doesn't mean that the briefcase is bad. They chose 3 bad guys to give the briefcase. Nobody wants to see Braun with that briefcase. Nobody wants to see Otis with that briefcase.
But I just think at this stage, though, they've done it so many times that nobody's first title win should be coming via. I don't ever want to see another 30-second to 2-minute title match in which that's somebody's first title win. I think that at this point, we need to get back to establishing first title wins via build-ups, via via hard-fought matches.
Did it. I hate to compare, but instead of just going in and running in on Jon Moxley, he was like, I want to have a match at this time. Like that's how the concept should be. Like how RVD did it.
We got to see the hard work and dedication, man.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to see anybody do it again. I don't want to see another. I don't care if they're babyface heel. I do not want to see somebody else win.
It just hasn't worked for so long, I think.
Okay, so let's get into the context of this, of course. Austin Theory failed his cash in this week. Tried to cash in on the drip god himself, the United States champion, the most over wrestler on Raw.
There you go.
So here's my thing with this. I think that the concept works because I don't think that Big E had a bad cash in, for example, but I think Big E was a good winner. Like that's why I said out of the last 4 winners, Big E is the only one I can think of that people wanted him to have that briefcase. Those other 3 guys, nobody was interested in that. And so I think with Theory, the problem all along was you put the briefcase on a guy that is not ready to be a credible contender.
Right.
And I feel like with that, Triple H inherited a guy that he would now have to try and make work with this briefcase, and it wasn't going to happen for 2 reasons. A, he wasn't ready, and then B, they don't know what they're doing with Roman. They don't know how to take both those titles off of Roman, and so you're not going to have him challenge him. There's no way I believe that Theory is going to beat this man. So, right. I mean, we just watched this guy have this super long match with Logan Paul at Crown Jewel, and no point in that match that I think Logan Paul was winning that match. And it was a good match, but at no point that I think Logan Paul was winning that match. And so if that's where we are, as great as Logan Paul looked in that match, I don't think the Theory is going to win. So, and I tweeted this when it was happening, I think that this was the right decision. And I know people might not like that, but I think this was the right decision because you weren't going to be able to make Theory into the guy in a year. It just wasn't going to work. And I think Triple H was like, yo, we got to cut our losses with this. It ain't going to work.
I think it would have just been better for him to cash in on Roman and Roman beat him. That would have felt better for me for the briefcase. It's just devalued by him going to the other championship.
You think it devalues the briefcase itself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Because what's the point? Like, get the briefcase and I'm going to challenge for the fucking Intercontinental title. I don't care about that. I'm saying for the World Championship. And why am I not challenging? I would have been better if he would have challenged Roman punched him and pinned him in 3 seconds to me. Because he challenged for the actual World Championship.
So, Graham, give your take, because I'm going to need to clear the paint on this one. Give your take. I'm going to wait for everybody else's.
Okay.
I just think that they could have figured out another way to do it. Like, even if they felt like, oh, man, this can't really work right now, like, you still got, like, 7 months, like, to, like, figure it out. Like, you had time. And just, I don't know, for them to throw it away and be like, U.S. title, like it was just a weird booking move for me. Like I didn't really get it. You feel me? So, but hey, shoot, go ahead.
So
block for me. I got you.
So this is by far a bad booking, and I would go as far to say that this is probably Triple H's worst booking decision so far. And it's a terrible cash in. But at the same time, I feel like this was a necessary evil because Theory was never going to work as Money in the Bank winner. That was very apparent from day one. And if we're rolling back tape, I believe I came on this podcast and told you guys that Money in the Bank was a terrible pay-per-view. And lo and behold, before the year is over, they rolled back a lot of stuff from that pay-per-view because it wasn't good. And so
almost all of it.
So I just think that they weren't going to be able to fix this. And I think at least with cashing it in or trying to cash it in on Rollins, there's a story there because you had this whole thing of him coming out there and getting embarrassed by Roman twice. And I think the story you can tell with that is that he never felt like he could beat Roman. This was a cowardly thing for him to do. And you could say that if you also tie this in with the Kevin Owens promo where he told him, like, look, you're never gonna get over with this crowd if you keep trying to win them over with stuff that you did not earn. You've got to earn your moment. And he kind of laughed it off at that moment. But you could tell a story of how he didn't appreciate the accolade of being Mr. Money in the Bank because he didn't earn it. And I feel like the story in that in itself of him trying to use the briefcase for revenge instead of using it to win is actually smart. But the way it was done is terrible. Now, of course, nobody's going to see the nuance of it because they're just going to say this is one of the worst cash-ins of all time. And it is. But I do think that there's nuance in that, and I do think that the way that they did it, it needed to be done because he was not going to win the title that way. Nobody was going to buy into Theory. And I feel like as long as he was always attached to Vince McMahon, some fans were always going to reject him. It just is how it – I mean, look at Roman. Look how long it took to get the chosen one tag off of him. And I feel like Triple H probably recognized that, like, look, we got to completely rebuild this guy and get him away from the Vince stuff in order for it to work. Because as long as you have that, some fans are always going to boo him. And so I feel like this was it. This was the moment. And by the way, to roll back to something I said earlier this year as well, the reason he tried to cash in on Rollins is because Rollins should be WWE champion.
That's what you're going with. That's a real ending.
But no,
that was a great way to bring it back around. I like that.
But also I just think that, man, I just think they put everybody on Raw in a bad position by not having a main title on the brand. And I feel like that's also why you had to take the briefcase off him because you have no solution to that anytime soon. I feel like what this told us is that Roman will definitely have both of those titles for the rest of this year.
Yes.
And because of
at
that,
minimum.
And because of that, we have no plans for this man with his briefcase. And I also looked at that to say, hey, do you think it's a coincidence that they leaked that Cena story that Cena's coming back to do a match at WrestleMania the same week that they took the briefcase? No, I think that the plan is definitely going to be Cena versus Theory for WrestleMania. And if they don't, like, I don't know what they're doing with this. And that's why I'm like, I don't think this is a burial because I saw people were like, oh, he's never going to recover from this. Now, granted, most people that fail at a briefcase, it destroyed them. Sandow. I mean, look what it did to Corbin. Corbin, for what people can say about King of the Ring, Corbin has never quite recovered from that failed cash in.
No, Sandow, Corbin, those are really the two. They're the only real examples.
I mean, you could say Otis ain't ever really recovered either. And so
he didn't even get
Kennedy,
to cash it in.
Kennedy,
Mr. Kennedy never recovered. And so again, the track record does not really help the case that this isn't a burial, but the thing that I will say is that at least they attempted to create 3 storylines out of this because I think the actual double turn they did with Rollins and Bobby worked, and I think that was the right call because the thing that I hate with Bobby, and not to go on a tangent with it, is Bobby was on a great run as a babyface. He was getting the loudest cheers for a minute, and then they brought Brock back, and Brock just completely derailed it. The crowd took Brock's side, and then you just left him holding it back because you know Brock is not a full-time wrestler. And so now you've got to decide what you're going to do with Bobby. And so now you're looking at it like this. All right, well, Bobby is kind of dead in the water. We're probably going to restart Hurt Business. Hurt Business is a heel faction. And in the meantime, Rollins is getting cheered louder than him. Let's just turn them. Let's just turn both of them. And so it makes sense. But the troubling thing with this is I still think that people are going to have a hard time washing this stink of failed cashing off. I do think that they can reset Theory, and I think that this can work. It's just going to take patience. And, of course, wrestling fans ain't that patient.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about what Will Washington said about the other day about how this is Austin Theory's third year. Like, it's getting, like, it's not early.
This is going to be the fourth reset for him,
right?
Because, like, he came in as a part of Zelina Vega's faction. People forgot all about that,
he
right?
was with Seth.
And then they put him with Seth, and then they had to send him back to NXT, and then he came back, and he started this Vince thing. This next reset for him is like, I can't think of another person. I mean, yes, I can, Roman Reigns, but as far as, like, you have to have the dedication to him, but there are guys, and again, this isn't a knock against Theory, but there have been guys who haven't gotten nearly the amount of reboots that Austin Theory has gotten in this short of amount of time.
I would say Corbin has. Corbin has probably had
again,
more
but and that's the thing is, like, you have to be essentially one of those guys that the company is willing to stick by. But there have been guys where they were just like, nah, fuck it, after like one chance. And so, I think
he's still really young.
Yeah.
So,
as far as the Money in the Bank itself is concerned, it's not so much, Phil, that I feel like the Money in the Bank is dead by concept, but it is dead by execution. I think that they essentially have fucked it over so many times at this stage that it needs a break. Like, or at least, I honestly just say a break, because I know people are like, oh, bring it back to WrestleMania. That doesn't make a difference. It's just a change in venue. But as far as the idea of somebody looming with a title match is concerned, I've seen it, man. We've seen it, and like, there's absolutely nothing new that I feel can be done with it at this stage. We've seen the concept of I'm going to do right by it and challenge you at a later date. We've seen that. We've seen the idea of cashing in. We've seen that a million times. And the thing is, it's actually worked less than it hasn't. The only reason that the only reason that we look at it so fondly is because the times it has worked were so good. Edge worked, right? And Seth Rollins, of course, one of the biggest moments of all time. But, like, there's also a shit ton of ones that didn't work. Alberto Del Rio, Jack Swagger. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Look at those
Sheamus.
winners. So I mean that is kind of proving my point that I said before. Most of the times when it hasn't worked, it's guys that had no business with that briefcase. Like, ain't nobody want to see Alberto Del Rio with that briefcase.
Nobody wanted to see Sheamus with it. Like, I know.
No, nobody wanted to see Kane with that briefcase. Come on.
But again, it needed to be. But again, you can't. It's just, you've had too many now. The thing about Edge was, the reason Edge worked was because it was so unique that, like, literally Edge was walking around with the catchphrase "bank" on it for like 2 years because it was such a unique thing to him. Where Edge was the ultimate opportunist who came in and deviously stole the WWE Championship in a way nobody had ever thought of. And that was a cool thing for him. But now you've applied it to so many other people that you actually kind of set guys back. Like, look at Randy Orton, right? Randy Orton was, at that point, how many time champion was he going into 2013? He was like a 8 or 9 time champion going into 2013. He looked worse for having cashed in the Money in the Bank the way he did. Because suddenly he didn't look like a guy who could get it done anymore. He looked like a guy who needed Hunter to fight his battles for him. It actually set him back to hold that Money in the Bank briefcase because it was so tied to the idea of being a no good chicken shit. And so, like, what you were talking about with Theory, I felt like there were things you could have done with this with time. I agree with Graham that, like, god damn, there's still many, many months left. You got 7 months left with this thing. This could have gone past WrestleMania if you really wanted it to. Hell, if you want to do if you wanted to bring Money in the Bank back to WrestleMania, what a concept, right? 2 Money in the Bank winners walking around. That could actually be kind of fun.
That could have worked, but I also think that this was absolutely Triple H drawing his line in the sand of saying, "Hey, these two concepts don't work. Him having his briefcase don't work. Get this 24/7 shit the fuck out of here." That worked.
He got the 24/7 title the fuck out of here.
He did.
Though, like,
So yeah, I think this was him drawing his line in the sand of like, I'm not even going to try to fix this. It's not working. I have no plans on how to fix it. End it. Cut, pull the Band-Aid off. It's not gonna work. Let's end it.
I think there might be a little bit of spite from when they destroyed his NXT that he's coming back like, all right, we want to destroy some shit. Get this ugly ass title out of here.
We knew Hunter
out of here. I'm like
the fact that the 24/7 title had appeared on TV twice since Hunter has been on TV. Yeah. We knew he didn't want that championship, and literally, for anybody questioning, what did it mean what Nikki Cross did? They removed it from active championships on WWE.com. It is out. It is gone. That's a wrap.
I feel like it was obvious, but that's why I'm like, I do see it where you're saying that could be spite, but I also think that him taking over creatively, because we've seen it so many times with showrunners for television shows when they're just like, yeah, I just have no idea what to do with this character. I don't like the character. Let's just get rid of it. Right. And so I think this was a thing where he was like, look, I never agreed with him winning that briefcase in the first place. I have no out for this. It's very clear that you have a champion that you don't want to lose, which is stupid to me in the first place. So it's like, what do? Let's just take the briefcase off of him. Let's just pull the Band-Aid off. The funny thing with what you said about Orton is that kind of proves my point about you picking bad people that don't have this briefcase, because I would say that the biggest thing going against Orton several times when you gave him things like this is that he was already cemented as your guy. You didn't really need to do that to give him a title match. Right. I mean, prime example, his last Royal Rumble win. Nobody was into that because it's Orton. And you know Orton is always going to get title shots. He don't need a Royal Rumble win. He doesn't need a briefcase to get a title win. They're going to give that to him no matter what. I mean, to quote my guy, Punk, you just going to give it to Randy again? No. Why? And so I think that the Money in the Bank concept is fine. I think it's that the way they've booked it is awful. The people they picked to hold it, the way they've booked every winner for like the last 5 years has been awful. I mean, even though I like the way Big E won, you could make the case the way they booked that was awful. But
I mean, none of that. Like, I consider Big E a W because, for one, I like Big E, and two, it was the victory itself was a moment. But like everything in between. Didn't Baron Corbin steal the Money in the Bank briefcase?
And
then and then he won it back on the pre-show, and like the problem with Money in the Bank to me is that it's such a shortcut to moments, right? Where like, hey, we don't have it in us to actually like build up Big E to get where he needs to be and really make people want to see it. So instead, let's throw the cheat code on him, and that way when he wins the championship, it's just the moment.
Are we ready to have the other conversation here that the Money in the Bank briefcase isn't the biggest issue here? The biggest issue here is Roman as champion. And I know people are going to hate that and going to turn me into a Roman hater, but it's the truth. Roman as champion is the biggest issue because they have no end game to it. It's just that he beats everybody and there's no other end game. And, I mean, you can go back to Big E winning the briefcase. No, the story he had been teasing for that entire time when he won the briefcase is that, hey, I'm on your neck, Roman. But the problem is they didn't have the guts to just give Big E the win over Roman and put Big E over. And so because of that, you had to take the shortcut and throw him in the storyline that was not building for a year, because if he had cashed in on Roman, it would have made sense because he was on the same brand as Roman all that time. You had all of that stuff building for over a year, but they just abandoned it because they didn't want Roman to lose. And I feel like that's the same issue with Theory. They had to abandon it because you don't want Roman to lose.
Can't disagree with that.
I still think I agree with Reg that it was silly to have him cash in on the United States Championship.
It was, but
when there's been no precedent for ever cash out on the Money in the Bank.
Didn't Charlotte cash in on the NXT title or something like that?
She did do that.
Yeah, but that's it. But that's at least considered.
That's at least considered a world title.
Right? That's at least a top title somewhere, right? There's ever been any precedent for cashing in on a title that's not a world championship. The other problem I'm having right now
in an open challenge.
Yeah.
Did the match even start with him and Bobby?
Open challenge, bro.
No, it didn't.
So you didn't even need to do the cash in. You could have just been like,
You
"Oh,
coulda
okay,
just been in the
I'm
match.
taking the open challenge."
No,
that's what I
started.
thought.
Like,
The
what?
bell rang. He got disqualified. That's what it was. Bobby got disqualified. That's what happened.
Okay.
Somehow.
The other thing is I'm really having this issue. And again, I like everything that Roman does on TV. However, I am having a problem with the idea of we've got this World Cup happening on SmackDown. So far, so good. Mm-hmm. It's a World Cup tournament. I love tournaments. I love when competition is the basis for anything. And the winner of the World Cup tournament this year gets a shot at the Intercontinental title. You also have on the other side Theory using his Money in the Bank, this prestigious Money in the Bank that's been used to change the world title time and time again, cashed it in on the United States Championship. So we've now had multiple things that have some prestige to them, except I guess the World Cup was won by Shane McMahon before, so maybe not. But some things that have at least a sense of prestige to them being used to crown contenders for the Intercontinental United States Championships. Great thing, because I think those belts have needed rebuilding for a long time.
Right.
What are we doing to establish contenders for Roman? Because at this point, nobody... I've said my biggest issue with Roman at the moment is that nobody on the roster seems to care. We got kind of a sense of it this past week, this past Friday with SmackDown ending with Sheamus, but I couldn't hear him because his mic kept cutting out. But
the way Roman cooked him for that was hilarious.
Yeah. He took a page out of actually that's happened a few times. I was gonna say out of Hunter's book, but the looking back at just previous contenders and like just looking at the show as a whole, I always have this issue with the fact that it's not just that Roman's not on the show, it's that no one's talking about him when he's not. That God, is anybody on the show interested in becoming number one contender for the title? Is anybody on the show like, hey, I want to face Roman, I want to challenge Roman?
Call on me. You know who was? Seth Rollins. Seriously.
He was.
Seth Rollins has been saying, give me my shot for a long time. And so he has been saying that for weeks. And what did they do? They put a mid-card title on him so he would stop. And this is why I said him being champion is the biggest problem. Nobody will admit it, but it is. And the reason why... Well, hold on. The reason why they won't bring it up on TV is because it's a foregone conclusion that if you go against him, you're going to lose. And it's not even an in-character thing. It is essentially them knowing, like, don't even attempt because there are already plans for Roman. You're going to lose. And that's why I'm saying at this point, his title reigns with both of those titles is hindering both shows. Nobody will admit it, but it is.
Even Kevin Owens was bringing it up a couple of weeks ago.
I just want to see more people and we'll probably get there probably around the Royal Rumble, right? Because you can't have unless somebody's like, hey, I want to win the Royal Rumble and go challenge Seth Rollins.
That's gonna be insane. You better not.
I mean, even when you look at it this way, Bobby never lost that title.
Right.
He did not lose. He was never pinned for that title.
And nobody's asking for shots.
And he has not asked for a rematch. Again, what did they do? They put a mid-card title on him to ignore it. I said, this is what I'm saying. The biggest issue is both of those titles should not be on Roman. That is the biggest problem.
But again, it'd be one thing if at least they're doing something while he's away. But instead they were like, hey, his contender for the next show just got established via a podcast where he was like, hey, I would like to face Roman Reigns. And not knocking the match. I hear it was great. I didn't see Crown Jewel.
It was a good match.
But I hear it was phenomenal even.
It was given overbooked a little bit. People didn't like when I said that, but they did. Here's the problem with that as well, because people got mad at this tweet. This happens a lot with me. I tweet things and people get upset. But here's the problem with that.
Can't relate.
If you're going to tell me if you're gonna tell nobody cares about challenging for this title, as Will just said, if you're gonna tell me that he can come out every week and say, I've beaten everybody, nobody's gonna beat me, and then you just bring a celebrity in and he immediately gives them a challenge, what are we doing, man? Why am I watching your show every week if you're just going to tell me none of these guys that are getting over are capable of challenging for the main title, but a celebrity can just walk in and go, oh, well, hey, we're going to Saudi Arabia. Here you go. Here's a match. Two matches in. Here's a match. And then on top of that, Roman has basically beaten everybody with ease. He gets on TV every week and says he beats everybody with ease, but he has trouble beating a guy that's only had 2 matches. That doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
I mean, it was to make Logan look good, and
It made him look too good, though. Because to me, again, if you watch the show every week, you've set a precedent that nobody can beat Roman. So why is it that a guy that has had 2 matches, you need to cheat to beat him? That doesn't make sense.
He was training with Shawn Michaels, bro. HBK.
Shawn Mike.
Come on, man.
And that's what I'm saying. Again, I know somebody's going to see this. Oh, Phil just hates Roman. I don't hate Roman. I think Roman is doing the best work of his career. But I feel like the thing that this has exposed, and a lot of people aren't going to agree with me, is that this is how they've always wanted to book Roman, but he wasn't over. They're just booking him the way that they wanted to from the beginning, but now you're on board with him and you like him. That's the only difference.
Phil, you're not being very Usi today, honestly.
You're not.
They are gonna run that into the ground.
If we're getting into the
They
Uzi
are
thing,
running it into the ground already.
If we're getting into the Uzi thing, that kind of fits my point of how the Roman stuff has been the biggest issue. The Roman stuff has gotten so stale that the hottest thing in his act is everything that Sammy's doing.
Right.
Now tell me I'm lying.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
So I want to read a couple more I want to read some more super chats because we got. We got a lot of it. Ali says, "Hi guys, just popping in to say I'm seeing Miyu Yamashita wrestle live in London tomorrow. Hooray! Good.
That's what's up. That's gonna be dope."
Yep. Jake says Bray Wyatt is just Trevor Murdoch, but with a creative mind.
Don't do that, bro.
That is wild disrespectful. That is wild disrespectful.
It's Capadonna, bro.
That is big time cap. Like there is nothing. We wouldn't talk about Trevor Murdoch at all if he wasn't on NWA. Let's keep it a stack. Like, come on now.
It says make Riff Raff and R-Truth a tag team expeditiously. He also says, thank you, just Jake Salazar sending in the super chats. Nas would be on Love and Hip Hop looking like Young Jock if it wasn't for that.
That's also big cap.
I don't know if I can disagree though. I don't know. Jim Jones is on there, and then
But Nas ain't taking that. Nas has self-respect.
It would have been different.
I don't know because again, we would have had a reality show. Him and Khalees, like it would have been.
Yo,
nah.
They would have to throw that footage away. Ooh.
That's crazy. VH1 this Friday. I hate you so much right now. The Nas and Khalees show. That's amazing.
That's nasty business right there, buddy.
I hate you so much
That's
right
ratings.
now.
That's ratings right there, man. Bring Pharrell in. You know.
Oh no.
Yo, no, please no.
Oh no. Not I hate you so much right now. The show.
No.
It's amazing.
Oh man, I can't breathe.
It's tough. It's tough out there.
Oh damn! And also Jake again. Thank you, Jake. We appreciate you,
Jake. No, for real.
Hey, he says Lakers down bad, and it's LeBron's fault, and I absolutely love to see it.
And I agree about the Trevor Murdoch thing.
I mean, let's talk about it. It is kind of LeBron's fault.
It is.
Louis says,
it's 1,000,000% LeBron's fault. Yeah.
Louis says Draymond taking the cheer to Clay and Steph.
Shield breaker.
Oh
Shield
yeah.
breakup. Yeah.
Draymond.
Oh man, no, that's definitely happening. Clutch Sports. Draymond has been a thing for a minute. He's just waiting to go play with LeBron and act like he was never on the Warriors.
Seriously. Every time he's outside, he's with LeBron. He's like,
yo,
bro,
I peeped it when they played the Lakers that night, and he was over there laughing at Bron while Bron was sitting on the bench. I'm like, yo, what is going on, man? Get this dude out of here.
Iggy looking at him like, I can't believe this fool, right?
Jake again says word on the street
Iggy
is LeBron.
Yeah, Iggy doing the salt grinder while that was happening is crazy.
He said word on the street is LeBron gave Mariah Carey inspiration to do All I Want for Christmas.
Jake going in.
And he said, Will, the Seahawks bamboozled us. I know.
Hey,
but hey,
Oakland legend was absolutely right all along, and they should have just run that ball.
Oh man.
So,
yeah.
And Jake again says shrooms legal in Colorado. Oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers to Broncos confirmed.
Oh, come on, man. My guy's in the mud right now.
You got a nice haircut though.
Are we ready for me to also feel vindicated that I was always right about Aaron Rodgers as well?
Nah, bro, because
I was
if
always
you
right.
gonna say that, because it's too many people comparing them to CM Punk, and it's too many similarities that are actually working out. You don't agree with that, so let's not even do this.
Yeah,
nah,
there
man.
you go.
No,
because that's back around.
That's disrespectful
man.
to Punk. He ain't ever been like Punk. Let's get into it, because I mean, Punk ain't a vaxxer.
Just
Just
because Punk is drug free, don't mean he don't be out here looking like Aaron Rodgers with the crazy. You know, let's not do that. He be looking like he's. I don't want to say it because Punk is my guy, but
Punk is my guy.
Nah, man. I'm just saying you can't compare a Chicago legend to cheesehead dickhead over there. Like, nah.
Coffee Black, and I have to say, Coffee Black. Every time I hear or see that name, I always think of the scene from Zack and Miri Make a Porno with.
That's not where I thought you were going with that.
No. No, Craig Robinson as he's working as the barista, and he's having a conversation, and the white dude walks up and he's just like, "Excuse me, can I get a coffee, black?" And he goes, "You better wait your turn, white." And like that's that scene gets me every time. It's every time I see Coffee Black, that is my immediate thought. But anyway. AR Fox and Top Flight, yes, please. Also, for a while, I thought Fox might be the one holding the camera for Swerve.
You know what? I'm not mad. I've seen that. This is the second time I've seen that, and I'm not mad at it at all. I'm kind of liking it. You know?
That literally crossed my mind last night, and I was like,
I'd be here for it.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Okay.
I mean, look, that match getting announced, by the way, yes. I was like worried we'd have to pick Reg up off the floor at that
I was on the floor for sure.
Because Reg being Mr. Spot Fu, and just thinking about the idea of Pac, Ray Phoenix, Penta El Cero Miedo versus Dante Martin, AR Fox, and shout out to a returning Darius Martin.
Oh my God, we're so happy for Darius. This is, I feel like every Dynamite for like at least 7 in a row, they've had one match specifically booked for me. This is the match of the show specifically booked for me because this is everything that I love about pro wrestling. This shit's going to be crazy. They're going to be flipping. They're going to be diving. They're going to be doing all kinds of crazy shit. This is going to be amazing. Get AR Fox. Braun Strowman is in the mud nasty right now.
Yeah. Hey,
flippers can't flip.
I have to say this after watching Rampage. I think people owe Brian Cage an apology. I'm just going to say it. I think people owe this man an apology.
And I don't.
Because I think that this dude is a lot better than people is giving him credit for. I think he's been on a run of matches for the last few months. And this dude is better than people. I agree. Better than people give him credit for. And I think people kind of owe this dude an apology.
I think they threw him to the side because they were like, we got Wardlow, but they're different. They're not the same. They're both big, but they do totally different.
They're totally different. And now, of course, I think Wardlow has more personality. And I mean, you can't go into Cage needs a mouthpiece, but when he gets in the ring, that dude delivers.
Yeah, you can go.
Well, I think that's what happened, right? Was that I think ultimately Cage does need a mouthpiece. And I honestly, I am surprised at how much I have found myself enjoying the Embassy as an act on TV, and that I think Prince Nana is working with Brian Cage. I think the issue with Cage last year was that, look, Team Taz had outgrown him. Right. And it was
he was the most boring guy in that group.
Yeah, he was the most boring guy in Team Taz, and there was no place. It seemed like there was no place for him outside of Team Taz. But I think finding Prince Nana was the right thing for him. Like, oddly enough, it's amazing how much things kind of worked out, because originally he was going to be with Tully. Tully is not Prince Nana. Like, I like Tully, but I just think the Prince Nana's personality, just being out there at ringside, I think brings a lot more than I think Tully Blanchard was able to. And then also, I don't know where Gresham was going to fit in with this group, but
he didn't fit at all. He didn't fit with them. He didn't fit at all.
But like, oddly enough, I think that the group is kind of working right now, and I think that once they get those guys on TV, like once they get Ring of Honor a TV deal, I think they can be one of the major acts in a Ring of Honor show.
Agreed.
I like I like Gates of Agony as a tag team. I think there's a lot that can be done here, and so I'm interested in what they end up doing. But yeah, I can agree with the idea that I thought him and Dante had a great match last night. Oddly enough, taped Rampage, I thought it was better than the last few weeks of live Rampage.
I agree. This one was the best Rampage in a couple weeks.
Rampage been struggling for a minute, man.
Yeah, and last night's I thought, oh, this was actually pretty good, and you were taped, and like that's the thing people hold against Rampage is usually that it's a tape show, it's hard to get into. Nah, this was better than the live ones have been.
Audio still trash as fuck, but I get it. God, the audio sucks on Rampage so bad when they tape it. They can't get the levels right at all.
I know it always sounds so different. Like you instantly tell that it's taped,
right?
Because and then next week's is live, and then they're back to taped pretty much going forward.
And next week, what Akiyama and fucking Takeshita? Like what? How did we get here? I don't understand it, but yes, I'm happy to be here.
With Ortiz and Kingston, like what? That's crazy.
Kingston's gonna cry in the ring.
Hey, that new Ortiz shirt is fire. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I was like, why did we not think of this idea of putting the logo on a backdrop like that and then having that was great.
I did see that. That is a fire shirt.
Redmond sends in a really great question. With the latest NWA Empower debate, do you think it's possible the Indies could pull off an all-women's version of All In?
Very possible.
I think it's possible with the right people behind it, and I think
I'm gonna screenshot this whole thing right now and send it to Maria now. And just say, hey,
it's hard.
Pretty much, just get Maria and Mickey, and we're off to the.
Because I mean, all of them get along. Mickey James and Maria and Gail Kim, all of them get along. Like if you get all of them on the same page to book a show, it can work.
Yes.
Weren't they doing something like a kayfabe? Something with,
I think they had a little bit of something going on.
Trying to get something
for a
kicked
while.
off.
Yeah. You just got to get the right people behind it. I don't think that there's a lack of talent here. I think that has always been the biggest cap about this whole thing. That there aren't enough talent to put on an all women show. There is. I just think that you've got to pool of resources and book a good show. Because this whole thing that you need the women to already be a draw is just nonsense.
That's dumb.
Because I think as long as the wrestling is good, people will pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing the Empower had going for it is that it managed to draw attention to people that people might not have thought was good. Like I knew a lot of people that didn't think Layla Hirsch was that good until that title match. That title match really did more for her and Camille than I think NWA really understands. And that's why I'm like, when you're just acting like, oh, they have to already come in with a high profile. No, they don't. You just have to give people a reason to care about this show. And if they don't care about the show, it doesn't matter who you book for it.
I think there's a bigger, deeper, darker link here with the women's wrestling because Maria and Women's Wrestling Army and Thunder Rosa and Mission Pro are putting on these shows like every 3 or 4 weeks. You can watch a full Empower style show on their platform. Maria's doing this all the time. You can see it on a monthly basis. So it's
I also, by the way,
things would be different, but that comes down to
Rise was doing this. Rise was doing this and putting their shows on YouTube. It can work, and don't tell me that Rise just was putting anybody in those shows because a lot of those people that on Rise ended up signed. So
exactly,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I just think that just say that you didn't get this thing to work with Empower. Just admit you couldn't make it work, and you're gonna try again. And if you're not going to try again, don't lie. Just say you're not going to try.
Just say that.
Hey, but can they work the NWA style though? That's the question.
When Tyrus is in the main event, you can't say that, bro. You can't say that.
What is the NWA style?
What is the NWA style?
Janitor,
mechanic,
janitor. It's nuts, man. Like, hello, sir. Do you know that you're Trevor Murdoch? Do you know that you're saying these things? Like, what are you talking about, bro?
It's SmackDown versus Raw 2008 roster be capping, man. Cap.
Suggestions for Caden, by the way. Iron Man album by Ghostface.
classic.
Yep, it's a classic.
Supreme Clientele, also classic.
Oh,
Tony Starks. Let's see. Chicken Lil Curry says, speaking production DJ drama getting a lot of looks.
Yeah,
Drama out there working hard.
Drama's going crazy right now.
Drama has to relax.
That Snoop was
Beijing,
banging too. Yeah, no, Drama going crazy with the Beijing though.
He got
but he out
relaxed.
there. He on these cameras though.
He got relaxed, man.
But yeah, that Snoop project is hard. I haven't heard the other ones that he dropped, but he going crazy.
That Jeezy joint is dope.
Yeah.
Oh
He's
yeah,
going crazy.
yeah. Jeezy is good.
Marius says, what are the chances of seeing Sasha Banks in AEW?
0%.
Zero.
She about to be at Survivor Series.
It's Survivor Series.
I'm
Like,
not
this-
buying this at all.
it's
Even if
hometown.
she's not at Survivor Series, she's going back, guys. She's not.
Right.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't even know if she's gonna
No,
do
she's
Survivor
at-
Series.
You don't think
She's-
so?
look,
Boston, you guys, come on.
Look, it's her hometown. There's 2 available spots on the babyface team. Gee, wonder who that could be. It's Naomi and Sasha. Come on. They're
It's
going
Boston.
to hit the...
It's Boston. That's why I'm like,
It's gonna
gotta
be-
Sasha.
She was just
We're
in
gonna start
Boston
with
this week when AEW was in Boston. And she did that whole troll thing.
No, we're going to get a
But
big
she hasn't
pop.
trolled with this WWE thing
Yeah.
at all. She won't even
Right.
mention WWE. That's how
Exactly.
you. That's how I
That's how
figured
you
she's
know.
going back.
Naomi's
yeah, no.
music is going to hit. It's going to be a big pop. She's going to stand on the stage, and then music's going to fade down. Crowd's going to start chanting, Sasha, Sasha, Sasha. Music hits, massive pop, and crowd's going to go nuts.
Nah,
They're going to
for-
both
I don't
make
like
their
that.
way down. And
I don't like
they're
that.
going to be...
No, for
like
sure. Sasha is definitely about to come out at the TD Garden, marching down to the ring, singing "The Spirit of Massachusetts" off of Family Guy.
She's gonna be at the TD Gardens with TD Jakes in her corner. TD Jakes is gonna accompany her down to the ring. It's gonna be lit.
Again, I'm telling you, city of Massachusetts, strutting down the ring.
I just caught that.
Look, this is her moment. This is Survivor Series is her moment. I bet you they even main event with the women's.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
War
I think they
Games.
are too. I mean,
Because the men's War Games actually seems like kind of nothing.
They're
men's
building
War
to the
Games-
brawling brutes, and I'm like, if that's what you guys are doing, I don't know.
It'll be good. It'll be good, I think. But
it'll be good. It makes sense what they're doing. They're trying to build to this kind of like bloodline versus everybody storyline, and that makes
Right.
sense with what they've been doing all year. But you can argue they've been building the women's match longer. They've been building
yeah.
the women's match since SummerSlam.
Since SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
Right.
So yeah, I think easily that's the main event. Let's see. Board Dude says Roman with both titles just bottlenecks both shows, and the only thing they have planned is don't let Roman lose.
Yep.
Make Roman look strong.
Yep.
Hey, I mean, everybody got mad at my guy when he said it, but I mean, again, this is what they always wanted.
Hogan must
had-
post.
They had to call Sammy to save the stale bloodline. I mean, it's what happened.
I don't know about that. The Sammy thing's been going on since like May.
But what I mean
Yeah.
though is that, but think about how like at least I felt like those segments were all the same every week until
I agree.
I feel like the reactions changed with Sammy for sure, and I feel like the fact that the Uzi chant has gotten over so loud kind of tells you everything.
Right.
Yeah, that's Sammy.
Yep. Let's see. We also got Sorry, I just got a message sent to me, and I wanted to make sure I read what that was.
The scoop. Say it out loud on there.
I don't think it
He's
was.
like, nah, I'm not doing that.
No, we're not doing that.
No, sir.
And this just in: Will Washington reports.
Let's see. Oh, it was just sent to me. Okay, I'll read that later. But in the meantime, we got Albert said, I think since they know Roman is not losing, why bother challenging him? Which is sad with all the talent you have on the main roster. But I mean, the result was the same. So whether you had him challenge,
Yeah, I mean, you've a better way to put this, if people don't like me saying that it's hindered both shows, is that by putting both titles on a guy that you know isn't going to lose, you put a ceiling on the rest of your roster. There's
Right.
only so far they can go.
Yeah.
let's see. Derek Gordon says, off topic, but is the North American title just the title they give to black wrestlers that they won't put in the NXT title picture, or is it just me?
Nope, that's confirmed, Derek.
It's the African American title, right?
It is what it is.
So there's a very long history of this in wrestling. If you look at NWA and how there's only one black NWA World Heavyweight Champion, but if you look at all of the black people that have been NWA United States Champion, it's a lot of them. So there's a long history of promotions doing this and not promoting a black black wrestler up to the main title. I still say that it should have been Melo a long time ago. I don't know why they're not pushing Melo to be the guy that beats Braun, because he's possibly the second most popular guy on the roster. So it should be him.
I don't get this, how they do the guys that they're going to send to the main roster by like beating them. Like before Santos Escobar went up, they were like, he was getting pinned every week. Like, why did they do that? Why did they do that if it's their show that they're going to progress him into? Like, he should be hot going into the main roster, not cold. How are you going to cool someone down to then try to heat him back up? It just doesn't make sense. And that's what what it feels like they're doing with Melo right now, is like he's been like kind of like on the losing end of things, and it sounds like they're going to send him up to the main roster, but they're cooling him off before they get him up there. So I don't really understand it.
Hey, want to see something else that's funny that I said about this Roman thing and how it's hindering all brands? You got to the point where the bloodline stuff was also even hindering NXT because you took the title off of Melo for this one-time thing with
they did
with
that
my
shit
mans,
one time, exact time,
and it kind of screwed over what Melo was doing with that title. And he hasn't quite recovered since.
Melo had like 3 weeks until he was gonna get to that 1 year mark. And they just like snatched it away from him and be like, no, so Mandy's get this celebration though.
Yeah, just so you can give Bloodline this other accolade that it didn't need. I mean, I don't want people to make it seem like I hate Bloodline, because I do enjoy Bloodline. I do enjoy some of the stuff they're doing, but I do think they're putting too many eggs in the basket with them, and I think it's hurting the rest of the shows.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if Roman's upset enough that Solo lost that title.
Right,
like,
he
so
didn't
fast.
even care. Nobody even cared.
He
They
just got over it. It just essentially never happened.
Yeah. They're just like, forget about that. Don't remember that. That only happened one time. It wasn't here.
Let's see. Jake says, Graham, if I'm being honest, Aaron, my guy, I will go to the grave defending him.
I'm with you.
And
why?
And he also said, look, Phil, we ain't gonna disrespect A-Rod just because he's part owner of your wee little Bears. Cubs.
There's only one A-Rod, and he used to play for the Yankees.
I was about to say, I don't know who
sure.
you're talking about. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Man. I hate when they call Aaron Rodgers A-Rod.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's only one A-Rod.
we have a guest, and Graham is the homie, and I know that he's a Aaron Rodgers fan, so I won't go full in with the Aaron Rodgers slander. I'm just gonna let that comment you just said go. But yeah, it's always been. I'll compromise with this. Bret Favre sucks. Bret Favre has always sucked, and all the controversy around him just proved that he's always sucked.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Big action.
I agree. And his ugly ass, and his Wranglers. Peace out.
Yeah, Wranglers. Yeah, come on. Fuck out of here, bro.
Oh man.
He says, can we talk about how Jeff Jarrett drug Braun through the mud too? I mean, look, Fightful Select reported. We heard from a number of wrestlers about this. Like main event guys. Like we've heard from people who said like, nah, Braun's wrong. Like, It don't matter if he was just trolling. The fact is, he was trolling by knocking people in the locker room, and he's a babyface, so it's not like this is to his benefit in any way.
And it'll work.
Yeah, it's like, nah, they were mad about that.
Like people in your own locker room, you think you're talking about the other company, but no, you're talking about your own coworkers.
And I saw the defense for Braun, like, well, he gets attacked by people who, you know, tell him he can't work, that, you know, he's a big guy. But, like, you don't think flippy guys hear this shit all the time?
Right.
And they have to hear it from wrestling purists. They have to hear it from
podcasters and
not just podcasters, but they got to hear it from old school wrestlers who are like, hey, slow
well, they
it down.
told Will Ospreay he wasn't shit. Ricochet, these guys, you're just flippy. You guys do gymnastics. You guys do this shit. Yeah.
These guys all hear that shit. So like the people that they don't need to hear it from are their peers. That's it. That's what we heard. And the funny thing is, if you knew who we heard that from, you'd be like, damn, that's crazy. But like it's one of those things where
don't disrespect the boys.
Yeah, you don't disrespect your
Hey, so
and there is heat on Braun for all of that.
Yeah.
Hey, so remember a few months ago when we were hearing from all the WWE fans that nobody in the WWE locker room would go and tweet anything about wrestlers in their own locker room? That's only something that happens at AEW. Well, that didn't age well.
Not age well at all.
And then Braun, of course, my theory is that his apology for it came via a talking to, because they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, stop. This is
You know what they should do? They should at some point book Ricochet to beat him.
That's it. That's what this tournament could be leading to.
He's 100% winning this tournament.
Yeah,
of course, but that's
This is
what
a
I'm
Braun
saying.
showcase.
Right.
Of course,
right.
but that's what I'm saying. That's where this should go. But
That's where the conversation came into play. It was like, hey, bro, like we finna give you the, like, you can't be out here doing all of, you finna beat Ricochet in 2 weeks, bro. What are you doing?
Right.
Yeah. The thing that kind of, I won't say frustrates me about it is I was legitimately happy for Braun, when he got his sign back, because I know he wanted to be there, and I know he was down on himself when he first got let go, and I was like, no, that's great for him. I think this is good. I think he's doing great stuff since he's been back. I don't agree with all of the squashing because it doesn't really do anything for him, but I think he looks good. He's getting big reactions. And
What
so
did I say last week on the show? When we were giving our grades of Triple H re-signs, I gave Braun an A. I was like, he is the one that's working better than anybody. What do you have to be mad about? Like,
His CYN homeboys gassed him. That's all it is. He think he big shit now.
So
That's pretty much it.
yeah,
but he also left all of them. He also was like, hey,
I'm about to go get paid.
Hey, CYN's about to be the biggest thing in the indie scene. We're about to take over. We're going to do some big shit. And then WWE was like, hey, we need you back. And he's like, all right, so y'all got this, right? Like, yeah, y'all got it, right?
He hit him with the Magic Johnson. I'm not going to be there.
He hit EC3 with the biggest deuces in history, bro. But no, that's what I'm saying. I was legitimately happy for him. And so to see him immediately go back to big businessing people after that, it's like, dang, man. Like, did you not learn anything? Like,
He's like, no, bro, I got to check. I don't give a fuck. Y'all are peons.
I thought that, all of that would have humbled him, but it just seems like it didn't. So
His
I don't
girl's
know.
on the road with them. Like, he lit. He don't care about y'all. He think he care about some tweets. He don't give a fuck. He getting his
he don't
red
care.
skinny jeans on and he getting lit. That's lit.
Yo,
Where do you get skinny jeans that giant, bro? It has to be Taylor.
Big and
right?
tall?
They got skinny
Casual
jeans.
male XL?
They got the big
Casual
red ones
male
up there too. The
XL.
big. Can I get the Santa skinny jeans, please? Minus the white
Yeah.
trim.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Workman's or something?
yeah, it just
They
I
could
don't
be
know.
some big dickies, huh?
The funniest thing about that Jarrett thing also is that he got that shot off, and I thought the banana nose circus line was funnier than all of that.
Right, no, for reals. Jared's like, listen to the rest of what I said, bro.
I know, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
he is. But you know what, though? Jarrett, again, never really been my cup of tea. But I get what Jarrett's mad about, in that, like, I was doing good in my executive position, and you let me go for Road Dog?
No.
It's 1995 all over again, baby. With my baby tonight, you've been replaced.
Yeah, man.
Jeff, eat your heart out.
Yeah, because they did. Like, the fact was, Jarrett was doing
But
live
then-
events.
But
What
didn't
now?
Jeff step down? He wasn't let go, was he? I thought
Sure, he was
stepped
forced out.
Yeah,
They were like,
yeah,
hey,
they
bro, we're going to need you to pack
Oh,
your
well.
shit.
Trips like,
Brian-
I'm not rocking with you, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Nepotism strikes again.
Mhm.
Yeah,
sure.
and then they brought in Road Dog to
Brought
replace
in-
him. Like,
The dog.
Partisan Fontaine, he's been your ghostwriter for 25 years, my G. Give him a shot.
Give him a shot.
Dream Ninja says Sasha gonna get a nuclear pop if she walks out in Boston. She is.
No, she's gonna get a huge pop.
Big pop.
Regardless where she shows up next, she's gonna get a pop. But
Right.
it's especially in Boston.
Now that all that said, because I was trying to be in Boston, and it just seems like I've got now 3 wrestling trips on the books as of right now, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to make Boston. But I will be hosting the post show for Fightful. So I guess check that out. Me and Denise.
You're going
are hosting that one.
to New Jersey?
Yes,
next week?
I will be at Full Gear. At this time next week when we're doing the show, I will be doing the show from Newark, and so yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Nice.
And yeah, I'll be. I've got other trips planned. Not talking about those yet.
Have we didn't get into any of that Saraya Britt promo before we get out of here, did we?
No, we didn't. We can talk about that really quick. Smiley says, if there's one thing Jeff Jarrett's gonna do, it is get a check.
Every time.
All-time bag receiver.
Never fails.
And we also got a couple of Humper chats. This one was from Van Twinblade. He says, only hate I've seen for Black Panther 2 was from the It's Woke dipshits. God, I hate that people learned the term woke.
But see, they didn't learn it because they use it wrong.
Because they use it
exactly.
wrong. Right. Yeah,
That's true.
That's not what woke is. But again, they wouldn't know. So
They wouldn't know.
Now, every dick that makes those videos is a Nazi and should be treated like one.
I was very confused where you're going with that at first until I looked down and saw that was in the Humper chat. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Let's see. Wonga says, good day, Grapsody. Fellas, New Japan's new brand, Tamashii, is that how you pronounce that? Started this weekend. Heading to the first Aussie show here in Sydney tonight. Robbie Eagles and Bad Luck and Ishimori.
Huh. I haven't heard anything about this.
I think it's pronounced Tamashi, like
Tamashi.
like Hikaru Shida's.
Like
Gotcha.
Hikaru Shida's finisher. Okay. And who else? Oh, R on the card. There it is.
I haven't gotten a chance to see the New Japan Strong from last night, but I definitely want to check out Frey Yehai versus Minoru Suzuki.
Mm-hmm.
Van Twinblade also says, Big McLarge Huge is a garbage wrestler and a garbage person. Buff strong man should take some cope and keep his mouth shut. And yeah, let's talk about this Saraya promo because Saraya did announce in a very dramatic fashion. I was actually really happy with that. She did say, I like the way she spun it, where she said she spoke with her doctors, and unfortunately for Britt, that I'm 100% cleared. And like, I felt that. I actually felt that for her. I know regardless of how you feel about Saraya, I try to keep any of my thoughts on shit, as I say all the time, on the show I'm watching. And so,
and 0% of y'all got an MD. That's where we need to start. 0% of y'all are doctors. So why are you commenting like you know what the fuck's going on with somebody's health?
Yeah, this was wild sexist to me. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This was wild sexist to me. We don't question anybody else that's come back to wrestling since their neck injuries, but as soon as she does it, well, how do we know she was cleared? Did you know for a fact that Brian was cleared? Did you question Edge the same way? Did you question Kurt Angle the same way? No. So why are we questioning this woman the same way just because either you don't like her or whatever reason? Like, I just think that's whack. Like, yo, you don't have to do that. If you don't like her, just say you don't like her.
That's it.
Yeah. I didn't like a lot of the stuff that was calling into question her being cleared when it's like, one, Fightful Select, again, did report that FightfulSelect.com, it's a good $5. And look, I had a report on there this week, but Fightful Select did report with pretty good confidence that Hunter had talked about bringing her back to the ring.
Yeah. And I absolutely think some of the reaction would have been different if she stayed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So because I know people are like, oh, it's just AEW doctors clearing her, as if AEW doctors didn't just have a really good moment with Hangman, right? Like, I know everybody looks back at the Matt Hardy moment as a failure on the doctor's part. Who's to say what that whether or not it was? But like in that. But as far as she was concerned, I mean, but again, it wasn't just AEW doctors that cleared her. She posted from her multiple doctors. She saw multiple doctors that got herself cleared. So I don't know what else she needs to say at that point.
If you need supplementary information, you could listen to the interview she did with Renee for Oral Sessions.
Great interview.
And I thought she gave some great answers as to not just, her getting cleared, but just insight of her first, her debut and then the first promo stuff as well. I just think that some of the response there has been kind of nasty. And I mean, again, nobody has to like her. You don't have to like anybody, but I think some of this was a bit sexist for me. Like, it wasn't cool. But I thought the segment was pretty good. I thought
I want to throw really quick. Snap Grapple Pop said a really good line. He said, literally, Shibata is under less scrutiny than Saraya, and that motherfucker nearly died.
Seriously, we celebrated this guy being in the ring.
And but again, it just seems a bit sexist.
Yeah.
But
good point.
I think the segment was good. I think that She did a good job of, coming across as, somebody passionate about wanting to be back and promoting the match at the same time. I think that Britt proved again that Britt is Britt on the mic. She cut a great promo. And the thing that I was impressed with that I have got on this podcast and criticized her before on is that she actually left room for Saraya to get her shit off. She didn't just completely
I thought it was happening when she was getting her shit. I'm like, damn, she's about to get her. But Saraya came back with it though.
Yeah, she gave her room to come back, and then she actually not only sold the beatdown, but sold everything she said later in the night. And so it actually made what Saraya said look like it hit home. I think people kind of responded to certain things she said in there weird as well. Like she was trying to big time Britt. And you can't read it that way that she was saying, I've wrestled for WWE, so you don't know what it's like to be a superstar. You don't know what it's really like to be a star. And AEW fans are very territorial, and they
don't like that shit.
I think Britt's going to get cheered in Newark. I think
I think she's going to get cheered.
I think she's going to get cheered. I think that
AEW fans just ex WWE. That's what you're going to have that tag on it.
Yeah, I think AEW fans are very territorial, and I do think that they are loyal to their hometown talent. And I think that at the end of the day, you give them Britt versus Saraya, and you were starting to feel it in that promo. The thing is, the stuff Britt was saying, the fans started chanting DMD.
It's true.
The stuff that Saraya was saying afterwards, like Saraya got cheered for the announcement, but afterwards, some of the stuff she was saying wasn't hitting with the crowd.
Right.
And I think that
you could tell the specific moment they weren't feeling it when she said that. You don't know what it's like to be a star, and it's like, well, no, because AEW fan is not going to agree with you because they feel like they helped to make her star.
She's a star,
They feel like that she's their star, so it doesn't really matter what you think of it. But I didn't read it fully as that. I read it as like, no, you haven't gone through everything I've gone through. Yeah. You've only been doing this for 3 years. I've gone through bigger struggles than you have. I've succeeded on bigger levels than you. And, of course, I saw AEW fans going, well, Britt has already accomplished more. No, she hasn't. You don't.
I take it in as totality, and it's like before, even if you take away the WWE,
don't do that, Will. Don't do that.
You can't say because she has a fucking movie.
I know.
She has a movie.
I'm just talking about in the scope of pro wrestling. Let's say all pro wrestling is equal in this scope, right? I mean, Britt had a near year-long title reign. Like that's not something to really say you haven't accomplished as much as me. And again, I'm saying this on just looking at it at a face level kind of thing. And so I can see where fans would be upset with the idea
especially AEW fans.
Yeah, like, well, no, you can't say Britt hasn't accomplished as much as you. Like, as far as we're concerned, we saw her through a year-long championship reign and saw her main event in ways that you never have, Saraya. And so, like, I can see how fans are going to see it that way. And I think they are going to turn on her. And you know what? That's okay because
she's
Saraya's
used to it.
Fans turned on Saraya before. People forget that, she had that big moment the night she debuted WrestleMania, the night after WrestleMania 30. Huge moment for Paige in her debut. And then she kind of floundered for like 3 months, and they ended up having...
That was their fault, though.
Well, what I'm saying is
that was their booking decision.
Oh yeah, they booked her to shit, and then they ended up having to turn her heel because the fans weren't into her. But the heel turn worked, and the fans got back into her via heel turn. And so what I'm saying though is that Saraya's played a good heel before, and if she needs to play a heel in this role, then do it. Because Jake says, but hasn't Britt bled for this company and won the title and knows what it takes? So it makes Saraya's promo really a dud. I think a dud is a stretch, but
I don't think of this dud. But specifically, what I'm saying is I've seen AEW fans tweeting things like, "But Britt has accomplished more than Paige," and that's just not true.
But if you take it as all wrestling is equal, kind of is.
Britt has not wrestled.
I wouldn't agree
on a big stage like WrestleMania.
I wouldn't agree.
But again, treating it as if all wrestling is equal on this stage, then we can say, well, in this sense, Britt's main evented. Saraya has not.
Come on. Don't make me do this. Don't make me do this with Britt because Britt has accomplished a lot. But Britt has not changed the trajectory of a women's division the way Paige did.
It's different.
There's a big reason why the revolution started is Paige's time there. Like, come on, let's not do this, man.
I'm just saying, if you're seeing it from the fans' perspective, if you're seeing it as from the AEW fans' perspective, I can see why they see it.
But it ain't just from the AEW fan perspective. That's what I'm saying. You can't just say because for your company, Britt has done more for your company that she has done more than Saraya her entire career. That's kind of crazy. Like, come on.
She got a
Britt got a cinematic match.
Get out.
Kind of like I do think a lot of AEW fans look at things in a scope, like tunnel vision. Like, this is just,
what I'm saying.
We got to build AEW off of AEW's accomplishments, and I don't know if that necessarily stacks up outside of the AEW galaxy.
This is what I'm saying. Britt has had her moments, and Britt has main evented shows. But again, we're talking about having moments like WrestleMania moments. We're talking about, like she said in her promo, wrestling all over the world and doing things that Britt has not done yet. Mm-hmm. So no, I can't just say she's done more than her in her career in 3 years. That's kind of crazy, man.
Yeah.
MSG, Sumo Hall.
And I mean, people were jumping all over her for the Tokyo
She was
Dome
capping
thing.
on a couple of those.
But
I mean,
again, Britt has been Britt for 3 years. To just say that she's done more than her in 3 years.
Because, like I said, it would be one thing if it were. Because I'm really glad Saraya is back, because I think in the grand scheme of things, Saraya hasn't. How do I put this? Saraya's career was a lot shorter than people realize it was.
Right.
Because of the fact that she was on the shelf for so long that, she debuted on main roster TV 2014. She was injured in, 2015, 2016? She was gone for a while. She came back 2017 with Absolution, and then she was injured again. And, it was really a relatively short career. People forget she's younger than Britt Baker. She is... It was ultimately, she had some big career moments, but I think there's a lot more to come for her. And that I think, we're not talking about Sasha Banks here. Obviously, Britt hasn't had that career. She hasn't had Charlotte, anything along those lines. Paige's career was really cut short. It really didn't have.
It was cut short, but that's even more to her point. She's younger than her. And before Britt was a thing, listen, the lineage of people that carry the NXT Women's Championship matters because of Paige. Mm-hmm. Let's call it what it is. Like I said, there was a long time where people were making Emma out to be better than what she was because of the matches she had with Paige.
Right.
I mean, if we want to get into the Naomi stuff, every time I say that Naomi is better than people give her credit for, and how the only person that was having good matches with her at that time as Divas Champion was Paige. There wasn't the talent there to help the other women get over because they didn't have the Four Horsemen coming up. Before the Four Horsewomen came up and helped those women have better matches, Paige was doing that.
He's right.
Yeah. Oh,
so that's why I'm like, you can't just be like,
again, though, NXT. So either way.
I'm not getting heated, Patrick. I just don't think that you can say that in 3 years because it's recency bias because we haven't seen Paige on TV recently. Right. Like she hasn't wrestled in the last 7 years. But
I'm not saying there's not bias there in that sentiment. I'm just saying where the bias is coming from, and I think that's where fans are gonna. I think Newark is not gonna be.
Fans are gonna boo Saraya.
They're gonna boo, but I also think that people do this thing on the internet where they decide that their truth is fact, and it's not. It's just, I feel like there's more nuance and there's context outside of Twitter, and people just decide, oh, well, Britt is a bigger star than her, and she's done more than her on Twitter. But that's to you on Twitter. That's not. That's not. There's no context to that other than you enjoying AEW for the last 3 years.
At 3 years, it's a long time. That's the thing is, it's all relative. It's a long time. And that I don't know, because I think about how the Attitude Era felt like this grand era for people, but that was only 4 years, and the fact that 3 years that's an era for people. Jake said, Saraya played the WWE card, and literally nobody likes that BS, TBH. Yeah, Paige started a revolution. That AJ Lee promo had nothing to do with it. And Vinyl Buff says, Paige is undeniably more accomplished. The question is, do AEW fans care about that? That's what I keep saying here. Will they ever get behind Saraya as the WWE fans did with Paige? Again, you just have to let her rebuild here on her own. I think she's probably going to end up walking out of Newark as a heel. That might be okay.
For sure. I'm not saying that this is just a reaction in the crowd. What I was talking about is stuff I was seeing people tweeting after the match of them saying that you can't just throw that on Britt because Britt has accomplished more than her. And I was just saying that in itself is not true. Right. That in itself is cap.
Jake says, wait for it. Thunder Rosa has done more for women's wrestling than Saraya.
Get out.
Hold on. Only because he used the word for and not in. If you replace for with in, it's a different story. For implies, of course, that Thunder Rosa's trained
it's still not
wrestler.
True.
She's brought people to the table. She's also created a promotion. For, maybe. In, I disagree. Which he didn't say.
It's still not true. Either is not true. I'm sorry. Thunder Rosa just started getting off in the last few years. I love Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa has done great things for women's wrestling. But again, this is recency bias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. For, not in. I agree with that.
Well, I mean, we'll go. I mean, I, of course, don't want to suffocate anybody else's takes on here. Again, if you feel like that's true, then fire off. I just don't think that's true.
Mm-hmm. Either way. This has been Grapsody. It's been a long episode.
But you know what? Though?
I mean, but that's the thing, though. We're always gonna have a long show when we have a fourth here because a fourth voice has to be heard, and so therefore it's always gonna get longer. But this is always my favorite part of my Saturdays. I hope it was a favorite part of your Saturday. Definitely join us next week. We might have some content coming up this week, I think. We're working on.
Sweet.
So we'll let you know. We'll keep you posted. Follow us on all the socials. I'm William RBR. Phil is Phil DL616. Righteous Reg right there. He's Righteous Reg. Oh my God, Graham. Give us some plugs.
Oh my God, Graham, you can find me there. Beat me there. Don't meet me there. Make sure you following the enemies at the enemies PE3 on all social media platforms. You know what I'm talking about? Every Wednesday right after Dynamite, come kick it with the guys. Come kick it with the gang. Check out All Elite with Keeks. And hey, Reg, let's officially challenge Wave and Curls to a tag match.
I'm ready, bro.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Dreads and braids. You feel me?
Dreads and braids.
Make it happen,
Dreads
man.
and braids versus
Curls ain't
and
got
curls.
shit on dreads and braids, baby. Come on.
I don't know what y'all in for. You feel me? Nah, but salute to y'all. I really appreciate the invite. This has been fun. It's been a cool experience to come and kick it with the gang. You feel me? Why we didn't talk about MJF? Nobody talked about the MJF
We
promo.
didn't say anything about MJF.
Let's talk about that.
People like that shit,
promo was amazing. It was really good, but I think at this point, like we pretty much know the promotion for the match.
Right. Yeah.
It's an MJF promo.
Exactly.
I know.
It's fire.
Although, as I reported, FightFulSelect.com, one take is all that was. It was
the boys ready for that championship for sure.
As a matter of fact, in the middle of that
He's gonna be
podcast,
champion soon.
they weren't even really like prepared for him to just like launch into that promo, but like it was cool. It was a great moment. And I am ready to see what Max does with gold on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he will be champion come Full Gear. That's
Full
pretty
gear.
much.
We're 1 week away.
I think the only question is at this point is how he's going to win it, and I have the assumption that he is going to remain a heel. I do not think he's turning.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be a babyface either.
And I think the telltale of him is him saying that he's not going to use the ring to win. And I feel like this is the way of him flipping the way he lost on its head, and him saying, "Well, I said I wouldn't do it," and using it to win anyway, and just going back and saying, "Hey, well, you said you weren't going to use the paradigm shift in that match where you beat me, so."
Hey, I have a question. Who gets the Dynamite Diamond ring now?
Oh,
I feel like that's tailor-made for Ricky Stark. He should be the one. Like I feel like he's the one that can make that work.
That is tailor made. His way he
well-
dresses. Yeah, okay. I
Well,
can
because
see
they
it.
always crown they always do the crowning of it at Winter is Coming, right? So like, if Ricky Starks, hopefully, I don't know, they haven't announced anything as far as his side of the tournament's concerned and what's happening with him. Because I'm hoping he wins the tournament. So then if he's in the match, who do you crown the
other guy that Ethan Page could get it? I think Ethan,
Yeah,
Ethan
I mean,
Page could make
look,
it
the
work.
chat's all saying what I've been getting at. The chat's all like, give it to Swerve. But I'm like, yeah, it's not a bad
Swerve
idea.
can make it work.
That's not a bad idea.
Swerve is
That's
there's
not
not
a
a real
bad
bad answer to that, but I think Ricky doing a year-long thing with it would be cool as well. Because I think the thing with it is like Swerve is already cooking. Like at this point,
he don't
Swerve
really
is off
need-
to the races. Like I feel like Ricky needs something to push him forward.
Yeah, Will, stop giving your cousin other accolades. You feel me? People are gonna be so upset. Like he's only saying that because it's his cousin. Like, yeah, just because your cousin work overnights at the chicken shack don't mean chill out, man. My cousin out here doing
Like
stuff.
I want to see somebody. I just feel like I want to see it on somebody who can use it in a very kind of cocky way and in a way that like. And I just feel like because that's what MJF had it for, and I'm thinking about Swerve's character and how he's been like, you know, kind of celebrity attached as of late, and I feel like that's like the one thing you can add to it. So I don't know. That's how I'm. Yeah, he like the pinky ring to go with the group.
Ricky hitting that pose and then coming back and kissing
With
that
the ring.
style.
That would be
Yeah,
dope too.
that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, do something different with it. Give it to a baby face. That would actually be kind of cool too. There are
Also-
things you can do. Hey guys, it's been a great episode of a Grapsody. Again, keep checking out what we do. Check out Public Enemies if you haven't checked that out. They
Make
do
sure you
great
get all
work
of our
over there.
super chats so nobody yells at us.
Look, all right, let me make sure. I'm going to scroll the Humper chats this week.
Right.
Okay.
And we will get to your questions that we did not get to, by the way.
I know the super chats. Okay, because Vinyl Buff said, give this money to Philip for not letting his emotions get in front of facts.
Ever. I have never used my own biases on this podcast against anybody from Green Bay that I don't like. Ever.
Either way, folks, it's been Grapsody, and we shall see you next time. Have a great day. Peace.